Dragon Ball Sparking Zero brought back what-ifs in a big way, giving branching paths to all 8 story modes. So today we'll be going through every single one of them. From what if Goku turned Super Saiyan against Vegeta, to what if Zamasu stole Gohan's body and became Gohan Black instead. There's a lot of fun action, goofy moments, and very weird stuff. So I hope you enjoy this compilation of every single Dragon Ball Sparking Zero what if, starting with Goku. Our story begins, as almost every Dragon Ball game does, with Raditz arriving and kidnapping Gohan as ransom for Goku to bring him 100 dead humans. Goku gets a choice here of either going with Piccolo or going by himself. Choosing Piccolo is obviously the canon route, but we can actually get a what if by choosing this. The change happens during the actual confrontation itself. We need to beat Raditz fast, before Piccolo can charge his special beam cannon. In this case, Goku doesn't need to sacrifice himself. Instead, him and Piccolo just really beat down Raditz, as Goku tells his brother to leave his planet. Raditz says that Goku is a poor excuse for a Saiyan, and that he'll teach him how to be a real warrior, attacking one last time. But Piccolo was already charging his special beam cannon, and pierces right through the Saiyan before he can reach Goku, who just barely managed to dodge it. Piccolo mocaps his way to Goku, saying that he was actually aiming to get them both, but he knows Goku would have been revived anyways. However, Raditz wasn't dead yet, and all that information about the Dragon Balls has been relayed to Nappa and Vegeta. Raditz dies by telling them to anticipate his comrades. So Goku is alive, and this changes everything. Goku and Piccolo teaming up like that made them form an alliance, where Goku invites him to train in preparation for the arrival of the Saiyans. Somehow they even convince Chi-Chi to let Gohan join, at Piccolo's request, who saw immense potential in him. The three begin to train together, kinda like how they did in the 3 years before the androids' attack. Goku and Gohan spar to show Piccolo just how much the boy has grown, but the fight is interrupted by the Saiyans arriving. Goku rushes off to collect the Senzu Beans from Master Korin, and returns to challenge the Saiyans. These will come in handy as his training with Piccolo won't be enough. He's gonna need some Zenkai boost. The fight has already started, landing during the fight against the Cybermen, but saving Yamcha just in time from becoming an overplayed dead pose joke. They easily take care of the Cyberman, with Nappa stepping up to fight next. And despite Goku being there, Tien and Chaozu are still the first to fight for some reason, which just kinda seems like they had a death wish, I don't know. Goku joins in the fight and saves them, but Nappa is still well above what our hero can handle. After all, he didn't train with King Kai, so he's under-leveled for the fight. He ends up with Nappa's boot on his chest, but Gohan musters up the courage to save his dad, giving Goku a moment to eat a Senzu Bean. In the midst of the confusion, however, Nappa kills Piccolo. So there go the Dragon Balls, but at least we have a setup for Namek. Thankfully, the Senzu Beans unknowingly activated Goku's Saiyan power, getting stronger after a near-death experience. Goku has Yamcha escape with Gohan and Piccolo's body to preserve it. They think it's useless since the Dragon Balls disappeared along with Piccolo, but Krillin tells Goku that they may still have a chance to revive him. He heard the Saiyans mention that Piccolo is a Namekian, and there must be a planet full of people able to create the Dragon Balls. They have to worry about that later though. If they don't stop the Saiyans soon, there will be no Earth to revive Piccolo on. With this new hope, Goku pushes himself to take down and incapacitate Nappa, but Vegeta kills him. Goku wants to face Vegeta one-on-one, so he leaves the others behind and arrives at the wasteland. That Zenkai boost is really putting in some work, because Goku actually pushes Vegeta into Great Ape. Having no Kaioken and no Spirit Bomb is a massive disadvantage for Goku, who clearly won't be able to handle the monster by himself. But the MVP of the what-ifs arrives. I swear the developers of this game really liked Chaozu, because he does more in these 2 first stories than in the whole manga. He gives Goku a Senzu Bean, once again boosting his power up. Sadly, that help came at a great cost, as it meant Krillin and Tien sacrificed themselves to distract Vegeta. Goku rushes by his friend's side, but he has no more Senzu Beans. Vegeta mocks Goku and his friends, saying that he's teaching him a lesson about what it means to be a real Saiyan. Vegeta is about to stomp on them both, but Goku feels his rage overflowing, his aura sparking up, maybe even his back tingling. Goku pushes Vegeta away and transforms into a Super Saiyan. Vegeta is in awe, and Goku destroys the artificial moon in a single blast, forcing Vegeta back to normal. You mean to tell me you could do that the entire time? Vegeta decided to beat up Gohan mid-transformation instead of just blowing up the moon? Decisions like that is why he had a giant monkey dropped on him. Goku declares that he will never forgive Vegeta for what he did to his friends. The legendary power overwhelms the prince, though Goku lets him escape with a warning to never return. Exhausted, Goku passes out, until Gohan wakes him up. Now they have to start their next move, repairing Kami's ship with Bulma and Popo's help. In preparation for Namek, Goku trains, deciding to go alone, but promising Gohan that he will bring everyone back. Once on Namek, he finds nothing but dead Namekians scattered about. He comes across Dende, who runs away from him, even though Goku is promising not to eat him. I mean, I would be a little terrified too, I don't really blame Dende, but there's a good reason why he's terrified. Two Frieza soldiers appear. They have been hunting down the Dragon Balls. Goku protects Dende and retrieves the Dragon Balls. But the real problem wasn't them, not even Frieza. Goku senses a familiar energy, turning to see none other than Super Saiyan Vegeta staring him down on a cliff. Man, I love this design. No matter how many times they do this what if, I'm gonna always love it. Super Saiyan Vegeta in full Saiyan armor is just so sick. Turns out that before Goku arrived on Namek, Vegeta had already killed Frieza by himself. Now that's a what if I wanna see. I wonder if he gave him a chance to transform. Vegeta not only wants the Dragon Balls Goku took from the soldiers, but he wants to prove once and for all that he's the true Super Saiyan. Vegeta says that since he left Earth, he had been training himself to near death over and over again, getting stronger but never reaching Kakarot, until he was overwhelmed by the rage that losing against Goku cost him, and finally transformed. Goku asks why he bothers killing Namekians and getting the Dragon Balls when he's already this strong, and Vegeta responds by saying that there's no room for the weak, even giving Goku a chance to join him in this quest for ultimate power and universe domination. But Goku already has everything he needs, in his family, friends, and the world. He doesn't need to join Vegeta, and so the low-class Saiyan once again surpasses the prince, even flipping the "I am a Super Saiyan" speech into a lesson for Vegeta.
スーパーサイヤ人は激しい怒りと穏やかな心を持つ者がなれる。
Vegeta tells Goku that he better finish him off this time, but Goku refuses. It's not to shame Vegeta, but because he's been one of his greatest adversaries, and he wants to fight him again one day. Vegeta finally realizes that him and Kakarot are a lot more alike than he originally thought, even calling him a true Saiyan, and promising to be stronger next time they meet. Goku uses the Dragon Balls to revive everyone killed, and returns home to his friends. Only time will tell how much stronger Goku can get. I hope that once Goku returned home, he revived all those dead Namekians, since at this point in time, the Namekian Dragon Balls can only revive one person at a time. This is probably my favorite Goku what if in the whole game. It starts off fairly innocuous with the Saiyan arc but without Goku dying, and it slowly snowballs, with the game taking into account that Goku would probably need a few Zenkai boosts. I wonder how this all would continue. I like to think that Vegeta became some kind of space pirate, not really bothering Earth unless it's to challenge Goku. But this means Trunks is likely never born, but Jiro would probably have this info of Super Saiyan Goku. So the Z Fighters are in for trouble against the androids. But who knows, maybe Vegeta and Goku end up training together and even earlier than normal so they're extra prepared. But there's actually two different what ifs stemming from this Raditz fight. This was one of the last few what-ifs I went back to do since I wanted to finish Goku's canon story first, and definitely not because I had a really hard time against Raditz during early access. Just like before, Raditz revealed himself as a Saiyan who kidnaps Gohan, in order to incentivize Goku to join him. Piccolo wants to team up to stop him, but in this case, we're going to refuse. No, I don't want to be friends with you, Piccolo. You try to kill me. Even if we do choose to go alone though, our friends know we can't handle Raditz by ourselves. So Krillin and Roshi follow, and later, Piccolo joins as well. Raditz notices them approaching, so their surprise attack doesn't work, and they have to face him head on. I love the idea of going to do this with Krillin instead, since we've gotten a surprisingly low amount of Goku-Krillin team-ups. To continue this what if, we're going to have to survive against Raditz a good while, as Krillin has a new technique he's been working on, the Destructo Disc. Once you've held up against them for long enough, Gohan will burst through the battle pod and headbutts Raditz, giving Krillin a chance to fire his Kienzan. He misses because, of course he does. They can never give my boy Krillin a win, but Raditz jumps out of the way. Roshi takes a shot with this Thunder Shock surprise, paralyzing him in midair. Piccolo, who had shown up up mid-fight and begin to charge his new move, pierces through Raditz with his special beam cannon. So, no matter which ending to this fight you get, Piccolo always shoots a hole through his chest. Poor Raditz, always a painful death. The big change here is that Goku survives the attack of the Saiyan. But of course, Piccolo feels compelled to talk about the Dragon Balls to Raditz, kickstarting the rest of the Saiyan arc. Goku being alive during the training is one of the biggest changes the story could have, because instead of Goku going to train with King Kai, Gohan training with Piccolo, and the humans training with Kami, all of the Z-Fighters train together at the lookout. This is so cool. I love it when they're a real team. Though since he's a kid, everyone pampers him. Except for Piccolo, who knows the power Gohan is hiding, and asks Goku to allow him to train him. I kinda wish we could have seen Gohan develop if trained by the others, but I guess that would mean he'd have to have different attacks based on what character he trained with, and that was probably too much for the developers. They should have at least done that for a Gohan what-if, maybe one day. Anyways, Goku vouches for Piccolo, saying that he can tell that he's already changing. The training together really boosts everyone by quite a bit, until a day where they all come together to spar. We get to choose who to fight against. I chose Krillin since he's my favorite. Look at that little bald guy. He's a pal. Their training is interrupted by the Saiyans arriving on Earth. The Cybermen are easily defeated with no casualties. Once again, Yamcha being saved from being a meme. Good for him. So clearly the training together paid off, and Nappa gets to fight Goku right away. Our hero takes him down, immobilizing him, only for Vegeta to blow him up as always. One neat detail here is that they don't move away to the usual wasteland, since the reason they did that in the original story was because Goku wanted to keep everyone's dead bodies safe. Little attention to detail like that is appreciated. Yamcha, Chaozu, Gohan, and Krillin retreat as the fight against Vegeta begins, leaving Tien, Goku, and Piccolo to face the prince. During the fight, he reveals that
Piccolo's a Saiyan just like Raditz.
I mean, an Namekian, who created the Dragon Balls. The fight against the prince is harder than the canon one, since we don't have King Kai's techniques, but the 3v1 forces Vegeta to transform into an Ozaru, and the heroes use their last remaining senzu beans. That's when Krillin returns to the fight with a plan. The Z-Fighters work together to do the one thing everyone always says that Krillin should do: the solar flare plus the Destructo Disc. Tien, Goku, and Krillin blind the monster, and Krillin cuts off his tail. As Vegeta tries to recover, Yamcha, Piccolo, and Gohan blast at Vegeta. The prince tries to get away, but once again the GOAT Chaozu comes in clutch, paralyzing Vegeta for the head-on attack. That's some great teamwork. We gotta get more stuff like this from the Z-Fighters. Still, Vegeta survives. In one last desperate gambit, Goku full Nelsons Vegeta for the special beam cannon combination, but Vegeta gets out of the way just in time, so only Goku gets hit. He's not dead yet, but he can barely react as Vegeta goes on to take everyone down. Before he kills Gohan though, Goku gets up and uses all the energy he has left to blow Vegeta away. Despite all this beating, Vegeta is still alive, but escapes Earth thanks to Goku asking Krillin to let him go. Goku dies because of his injuries, but this means that he gets to visit King Kai. This is where things start to get a little more interesting. Since Piccolo is alive, there is no real reason to go to Namek, but he's still curious about where he comes from. So he kidnaps Gohan and goes to space. Can you imagine being Chi-Chi? Your husband just dies and your son disappears into space with a green man who tried to take over the world a few years ago? In a single month, Goku masters the Kaioken and the Spirit Bomb, but King Kai warns him that Vegeta is heading to Earth. The Z-Fighters revive Goku and go to the wasteland to meet the prince. There, he declares that he wants the Dragon Balls for immortality, but of course, Goku refuses. Not that he could give them anyway, since he just got revived and the Dragon Balls should still be stone. Vegeta attacks Goku, but as soon as the fight begins, it ends, as Vegeta suggests the unthinkable, a team-up. According to Vegeta, Frieza knows about the Earth Dragon Balls, and he's on his way. I'm surprised that King Kai noticed Vegeta, but not the massive ship heading to Earth too. If he did, then he would have probably told Goku not to get revived, because they're all doomed. Dr. Briefs creates a gravity machine for Goku and Vegeta to train in. I'm assuming that Vegeta is also staying there, so maybe Trunks is a thing eventually. The day of Frieza's arrival, we get this sick shot of the Z-Fighters all at the lookout. It's kinda funny that Chaozu's there, since it specifically says that Tien left him behind. Frieza's forces start to show up, with Vegeta killing Qui. Dodoria and Zarbon then appear to confront the Saiyans. Zarbon mocks them for their race being killed by a mere meteor, only to get beat down. Vegeta also kills Dodoria when he tries to fly away, and we get no word on the revelation that Frieza destroyed Planet Vegeta. So I guess in this timeline no one ever finds out? Then it's time for the Ginyu Force. But Vegeta says that they don't have time to keep fighting one by one. So all the Z fighters are going to take on the Ginyu Force, despite the fact that in the actual game you still only play as Goku the entire time. But sure, thanks for taking on Goldo in dialogue only, Krillin. Goku beats them and gives them a chance to leave. But as Vegeta does, he kills them anyways, except for Ginyu, who is ordered by Frieza to collect the Dragon Balls. Vegeta goes after him while Frieza offers the Z fighters a chance to join his army. Now that's a what if I wanna see. But they all refuse, and soon Vegeta returns. In a twist, Vegeta betrays the Z fighters. At least he didn't trap them. This is actually Ginyu in Vegeta's body, but he's struggling to get a hold of his power. So he tries to switch bodies with Goku instead. The real Vegeta jumps in the way and gets his body back, but the captain keeps trying, this time aiming at Tien. Chaozu is really getting mileage out of his powers in this when he uses them to switch Ginyu with a frog instead. Who in the development team had this love for Chaozu? Not that I'm complaining, I'm glad he's actually doing something. Krillin gives Vegeta and Goku senzu beans to take on Frieza. Goku wants to do it alone as Frieza reveals his second transformation. Goku's training and his new Kaioken pushes Frieza into his third form, ordering his men to attack Earth in retaliation. The human Z fighters, including Roshi, come together to defend it, in something like an early version of Resurrection F. They also give Goku one more senzu bean for those sweet Zenkai boosts. But as the fight goes on, it's clear that Goku and Vegeta can't win at this rate. But Goku does have a plan, the Spirit Bomb. During his fight, Frieza transforms into his final form, and Vegeta jumps in to give Goku a chance to charge the Spirit Bomb. This ends up turning into something like the Kid Buu fight, but against Frieza. It's a similar final trump card, with Vegeta buying Goku time. He even gives something of a "you are number one" speech. It's cool because it's so different from the normal one, because, well, Vegeta is vastly different. He talks about how Goku is a Saiyan unlike any other, who cares about his friends and family. Vegeta is nothing like that. So everyone gives energy to Goku, but before Goku can use it, Frieza realizes their plan and gets ready to shoot Goku down from the sky. Just then, Frieza is blasted by Gohan and Piccolo, who used the Wish on the Namekian Dragon Balls to get back home. This is just what Goku needed to finally unleash the Spirit Bomb and kill Frieza once and for all. The legend of the Super Saiyan remaining just that. Also, Dende's here for some reason, and he heals everyone. Vegeta turns to leave, saying that their allegiance ends here, leaving to space. Goku is sure that Vegeta will return one day to cause trouble, but they will be ready. The story ends here, but with some massive implications. Goku obviously doesn't have Super Saiyan and no instant transmission, since he never went to Yardrat. I wonder if King Cold arrived to get Frieza's body. Did they have to fight him too? And as I said before, Vegeta did spend some time at Capsule Corp, so maybe Trunks is still a thing. If Goku wasn't the first Super Saiyan, then maybe Vegeta was. Either way, it's a pretty fun what if that starts pretty simple, but becomes something actually more interesting. Once we get into the Frieza arc, it feels more like a combination of Resurrection F, Buu, and Namek, working surprisingly well. The best part is the Z fighters being more involved and getting a chance to shine. Of course, the original Namek arc is a straight continuation of the Saiyan arc, but it's taking place on Earth on similar locations. It makes it feel more connected, if you will. I also want to point out these awesome pins Zen Monkey sent to me. They make really cool, officially licensed pins and more. I especially love this Painterly Goku one. They have a lot in this art style, and they're just amazing. If you want to get some for yourself, you can click the link below, and use code SMUG10 for 10% off, while supporting the channel.
And now back to our show.
There's some smaller what-ifs here and there that don't really amount to anything, and are just really there as alternate endings. This is probably the most random of them, but I guess it's neat to have. Goku has arrived on Namek just in time to stop the Ginyu Force. He takes down Recoome and faces Jeice and Birder. The change here is simple. Instead of beating Birder first, it's Jeice. So the blue speedster escapes, making his way to Captain Ginyu only to have Vegeta kill him. It's cool that it's here, but there's just very little to it. Another small what if. In this one, Goku beats Frieza without the Spirit Bomb. In my case, he just shot a tiny Keeble at him. We get a bait and switch where Krillin gets scared, and I actually thought Frieza was gonna come back anyways. But no, he just forgot about Bulma. This means no Super Saiyan, no Namek exploding. Goku says they can still revive everyone killed, even Vegeta. Since Goku is returning to Earth, this also means no instant transmission, but more time to train with the others. If they do revive Vegeta, they better do it on Namek, because he's just gonna wake up and press the Namekians into give him the Dragon Balls again. Without Super Saiyan though, things are looking grim. For the first What If in the Android arc, we start at the point where Vegeta and Trunks are training in the time chamber, while Piccolo fights Cell and the androids. Goku senses that he's in trouble. That's when we get the option of either waiting things out like in canon, or saving Piccolo from Cell and stopping him once and for all. So in this one, Goku doesn't punch Gohan. Instead, he teleports both himself and Gohan before the androids, facing Cell while Gohan takes Piccolo away. This is a Goku who still hasn't mastered Super Saiyan. Gohan doesn't even have it. So against all these androids, it's quite a bit of a disadvantage. Also, isn't it weird that Goku never saw First Form Cell in canon? 17 wants Cell to be his to beat, but Goku intervenes anyways. It's a hard-fought fight, but through it, both Tien and Android 16 join in to defeat Cell. If Cell ends up hitting you with a solar flare, then he gets the chance to absorb 17 and 18, transforming into Xemnas. My editor forgot to turn off his mods. And you get put into the canon path. But if you do beat him, then a whole major crisis is averted. But now the androids are exactly where they wanted to be, in front of Goku. 17 and 16 are pretty damaged, but they can't back away now. 18 insists to be the first one to fight since she hadn't gotten to yet, but she stops the battle once her clothes get too dirty. So it's 17's turn. He says that fighting Goku is actually a great time, but eventually realizes that he can't beat him. So the twins get ready to leave. But 16 remains quiet and solemn. His programming is just telling him that he needs to complete his mission, attacking Goku without warning. The Saiyan doesn't have a lot of energy left. He can't even keep up Super Saiyan. A neat detail here is that 16 in this fight specifically aims to self-destruct, really sticking to the whole programming thing. In the end, Goku wins, but fights defensively the entire time, since he doesn't actually want to hurt 16. 17 realizes that 16 isn't using his full power. He could have destroyed the whole island if he wanted to, revealing that he really wanted to protect nature. Goku also notices that though he can't sense his ki, he does feel the lack of killing intent. Otherwise, 16 would have killed him during the Cell fight. Well, Goku, tell that to all the other Gokus who lost their lives to his self-destruct. 16 resigns to continue traveling with 17 and 18, and leaves Goku alone. Krillin lands to see that everyone is safe, asking about Android 18. Goku says that he's sure the androids will come back, but the question is, will they be friends or foes? Everyone is safe and sound. The threat of Cell is stopped a lot earlier, and Goku gets to live onto the Borg. So no fusion dance. Maybe not even a Super Saiyan 3. I think Goku and Gohan would have still gone into the time chamber and trained. Or at least Goku would have wanted to. I'm sure that over the 7 years, Goku and Vegeta would have a rematch and continue to train, probably unlocking Super Saiyan 2. So I really doubt Majin Vegeta would happen, and without that, probably no Buu at all. I'm thinking Gohan would also train more with his dad being around. It's a fun little story, but mostly because of Goku and 16's interaction. Reminds me of the What If story from Tenkaichi 3, where he fights him. I think 16 is a pretty underused character, and there's more you can do with him, so I hope we see him more in the future. The second Android arc What If is what happens during the match between Perfect Cell and Goku, if you beat him fast enough. Rather than Goku giving up against the android, he perseveres and actually manages to defeat Cell. They all celebrate their victory and Gohan goes home. There's a funny moment here where Gohan tiptoes around where Goku is, so Chi-Chi thinks that he just died, only for Goku to teleport back in. So Goku gets to live. It's a cute scene and particularly heartbreaking when you take into account what actually happens in canon. Like I said before, Goku probably continues to train with Gohan more, and eventually Goten. Honestly, this is one of the easiest fights in the game, so I actually had to turn down the difficulty to get the canon path, because I kept killing Cell over and over. Honestly, I think this is the most wasted opportunity. We did 2 versions of Goku not dying against Raditz, but we can't get a little more with the Cell one? This is the one What If path I really think should have been explored further. A timeline where Goku lives those 7 years has huge implications, and it's one you can only really do in the Goku storyline. So I hope one day we get what ifs that go further into the storyline. This one is all about Goku being able to talk down Majin Buu from his evil ways. When he first shows off Super Saiyan 3, Goku can turn anyone into a friend after all. It's fairly similar to the original story. Babidi yells at Buu mid-fight, so the Majin kills him, but this time in front of Goku. The Saiyan tells him that he doesn't have to keep doing evil things, and Buu actually agrees, as long as he gets sweets and strong guys to fight. So basically, Goku's taking the role of Mr. Satan here. At the lookout, Goku introduces Buu to everyone, and uses the Dragon Balls to bring things back to normal, plus make everyone forget about Majin Buu. We then cut to Capsule Corp, where Majin Buu now lives, becoming Goten and Trunks' training partner. King Kai can't believe that Goku actually pulled this off, and we actually get some different characterization for Goku, since he didn't have to stay alive. This Goku is dead set on the idea of leaving things to the next generation of fighters, saying that Buu is the perfect rival to get to that point. It's a really simple what if, but with massive implications. If Buu ever gets angry enough, he's gonna spit out Grey Buu, and Super Buu will likely be born. Since Goku stays in Otherworld, Gohan probably never gets his ultimate form, he likely never breaks the Sea Sword. But maybe Goku staying dead encourages Gohan to train more. But either way, Super is gonna be a lot harder for them. But I do like this notion, and it really makes me wonder about a Dragon Ball Super where Goku isn't around. That just sounds kinda crazy. It's also looking like Vegeta was revived, so it's at least not all hopeless for Super. And who knows, maybe Goku would have eventually want to come back. Sadly, there's no other Buu arc what ifs for Goku in this. We skip Battle of Gods to go straight into Resurrection F. This one little what if is just the ending of the film, but with less steps. Instead of Goku getting shot by Sorbet and Vegeta switching with him to fight Frieza until he blows up the planet and Whis turns back time, this version of Goku just kills Frieza. Yeah, he's about to blow up the planet and Goku stops it, and the story continues as normal. It's such a simple change and just kind of fruitless. It's especially disappointing since the obvious what if here to do in Resurrection F is having Vegeta properly defeat Frieza by himself, but Vegeta's storyline just ends in the Buu arc. So you can do something here, and it could have been more. This one is just kinda weird. What you have to do here is beat down Zamasu really fast, and then you have to beat Goku Black as well. It's probably one of the hardest fights in the whole story mode, but the reward is not really worth it. So Goku actually manages to defeat Black, and now comes face to face with the immortal Zamasu. Goku is fueled by the rage of knowing that his family was killed. He has to win, but Zamasu is immortal. Goku runs out of energy and loses. I really don't mind endings that go bad for our heroes, but this is so inconclusive. They don't even say if Zamasu kills Goku or anything? Did they not try anything else? They didn't try to go back in time and use the Mafuba? If Goku did really get rid of Black first, then surely they can keep Zamasu away for long enough to figure out a plan. Also, I don't know what Vegeta and Trunks were doing the entire time, but they just kinda let this happen. It's just kinda bizarre. I guess without Black, then Zamasu never fuses, so if they do beat him, at least Trunks' universe never gets destroyed. We pick up at the Goku Black arc, where Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks fight Zamasu and Black. Just as they fused into merge Zamasu, the three Saiyans come together to blast and kill him, despite the fact that he's immortal and should be spreading all over the universe now. It's not exactly explained how they get rid of him, so they could have used the Mafuba, I guess? But hey, they did it, and the three Saiyans can rest. At least the shot at the end with the three together is nice. This one's just kinda weird because it doesn't actually have a conclusion. Trunks would remain in his regular timeline since Zamasu didn't corrupt it, already improving the ending of the saga, at least to some degree in my eyes. Thankfully, some of the other characters have better Black Arc what-ifs, so if you want me to cover those, be sure to let me know in the comments. It's worth noting that after this, there's 3 branching paths stemming from the recruitment before the Tournament of Power, where Goku can recruit either Tenshinhan 17 or Buu first. They don't really make much of a difference and are just a way to represent this section of the anime. The final what if in Goku's story is a bit of a misnomer. The world's strongest warrior? He just won the Tournament of Power. He's every universe's strongest fighter. In this version of the ending, Goku has to defeat Jiren as quickly as possible, both forms. It's a simple change, with Goku pushing Jiren out of the arena by himself. The Tournament of Power has come to an end, with Universe 7 as the victors. Goku taking out Jiren by himself is insane as is, but sadly we don't really get much else from this what if. At least it's partially voiced. But we missed the chance to see Goku getting the wish from Super Shenron. That would have been a nice way to wrap things up. I doubt much else would change beyond that. Maybe Jiren is just crankier, I guess, I don't know. At least it's partially voiced, but we missed the chance of seeing Goku make a wish on Super Shenron. That would have really wrapped up things in a bow. I doubt much else would have changed beyond that. Maybe Jiren a little crankier? It's nothing crazy, but that's the biggest thing about these what ifs. I just really wanted them to take that extra step. Some of them do. The first two what ifs in the Raditz fight, as well as the 16 one, do a little bit more, make things really a little bit more interesting. But there's many that leave you with so many unanswered questions that would have been definitely worthwhile exploring. And those were all the Goku what ifs. His big ones are really fun, though other characters have changes that are more out there. For the first time in years, official Dragon Ball what-ifs were the core feature of a new Dragon Ball game, in Sparking Zero. I already broke down Goku's routes, but Vegeta's are some of my favorites. He gets to be a lot more than Goku's grumpy sidekick once in a while. From him rejecting the Majin power from Babidi, to both him and Trunks defeating Cell. So today I'll be going through all of Vegeta's what-ifs in Sparking Zero. We start off Vegeta's what-ifs with a really strong one. In the original, Vegeta isn't exactly the most helpful while training in the time chamber. But what if, for once, Vegeta decided to be slightly more emotionally available? To get this path, we start off in the mission Wind Up Doll. There, Vegeta just finished making quick work of Android 19 with his brand new Super Saiyan. Now 17, 18, and 16 are all free, but Vegeta will make sure that these androids experience fear. The what if is triggered if you take down 18 fast enough, which is already a win for Vegeta's ego. But even with that, infinite energy is a little hard to beat. The classic win in the game, lose in the story. Vegeta performed a lot better than in the original, and now promises himself that next time they meet, he will have surpassed them. Goku also recovers a little quicker than normal, and they discuss their next step, the hyperbolic time chamber, knowing that there's something beyond Super Saiyan just around the corner. This is where some big changes begin. Vegeta is more determined than ever to defeat the androids, and whatever comes next. So he approaches Trunks in the time chamber. Normally, Vegeta ignores Trunks, and selfishly tries to find his lone path beyond. But this time, Vegeta does want to train together, and while Trunks is honored by this, he's also cautious about hurting his father's pride, and wonders if he should keep the secret of the roided out Super Saiyan Grade 3 to himself. Vegeta's experience and will shows through, and he pushes Trunks to the limit. The boy finally decides to show his father his new form. If you lose here, the timeline goes back to normal, but we're not gonna lose. Not as Super Vegeta. Trunks' Grade 3 severely hinders his movement, and Vegeta is able to take him down, teaching Trunks a lesson. The future warrior is grateful for the session, and thanks Vegeta, accidentally revealing his secret identity as Vegeta's son. But the prince isn't an idiot. He already figured it out a while back. I mean, a Saiyan with purple hair? Who else was he gonna be, Turles' son? Trunks asks his father to continue training with him, and Vegeta accepts, realizing that they've hit the wall of solo training. As Whis explains in Dragon Ball Super, Saiyans training together wield unparalleled results, which just means that Saiyans on planet Vegeta must have been really antisocial. So the father and son duo bond over their training, getting stronger and stronger. With that, they're ready to take on Cell. But just like in the original, Vegeta lets Cell absorb 18, but Trunks isn't freaking out like normal. He lets his father do it, but is a little bit more cautious than Vegeta about the fate of the world. So Android 18 becomes one with the Cell.
Now you will become one with the Cell! Check out my perfect form. It's perfect!
Beginning the fight between the perfect android and the Saiyan Prince, with Vegeta using mastered Super Saiyan instead of Super Vegeta. Cell is enthralled by Vegeta's power and stops the fight halfway through. It seems like Jerome must have really been into the World Tournament, because no matter the timeline, Perfect Cell always wants to hold the Cell games, which will inevitably end in his demise. In reality, Vegeta knows that there is something else he hasn't tapped into yet, and Cell wants to see it for himself. Thus, the Cell games are announced. Vegeta and Trunks enter the time chamber once more, until the day arrives. Maybe Cell didn't announce the tournament to the whole world, since Mr. Satan doesn't seem to be here and Vegeta is the first one to step up. Cell has been itching for a rematch, his Saiyan side really showing through, but the bio-android's not letting up, pushing Vegeta to the brink. Looks like the Cell games may continue for a few more rounds in the shape Vegeta is in, as he fires a blast to end the reign of the prince once and for all. But the attack never reaches Vegeta. It's instead intercepted by Trunks jumping in front of his father, receiving the blast in his place, and falling unconscious on the ground. Vegeta explodes in rage, finally awakening the next evolution for Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan Grade 5. What, you expected me to call it Super Saiyan 2? Fun fact, Goku is the one to name it that. Beforehand, it was known as Super Saiyan Grade 5. Anyways, Vegeta attacks Cell, and finishes him off with his most powerful Big Bang attack yet, not giving him a chance to breathe, let alone give birth to the Cell Juniors. But he doesn't celebrate the victory just yet. Instead, he rushes to the side of his son, holding him up and asking for a senzu bean, only to see the terrified eyes of Goku and the others. Cell has returned, even stronger than before. Cell's nucleus survived the Big Bang attack, and now his Saiyan DNA gave him an even bigger boost. But Vegeta's set on defeating him with his new Super Saiyan 2. He's going the distance, and it's anyone's guess who would win. Cell prepares his Kamehameha to destroy the world, and Vegeta responds with a final flash. But the Saiyan's energy is depleting quickly. It doesn't seem like he's going to make it, when suddenly, Trunks jumps to his father's side. The father-son final flash overwhelming the android little by little. Trunks tries to thank Vegeta for helping him get so strong, but Vegeta scoffs at him. It wasn't because of him that he made it this far, but thanks to his own efforts. And together, they finish off Cell once and for all.
No! This cannot be! I am...
The duo lay on the floor after the incredible battle, and Goku congratulates them. Trunks tells Vegeta that it's time to go home and see Bulma.
Let's go home. Mom's waiting for us.
Of course.
And that's where this story leaves off for now. So Vegeta got quite a bit of character development beforehand. Goku stays alive and Vegeta's ahead of him. So I guess Majin Vegeta probably wouldn't happen, especially since the two rivals are there to keep pushing each other bit by bit. It's only a matter of time before Goku gets Super Saiyan 2, and Gohan had it hidden just beneath the surface. Hopefully he ends up keeping up training with his father around. With all the training they'll be doing, maybe they'll have an easier time with Majin Buu. But if you do happen to lose to Trunks in the time chamber and get kicked out to the main storyline, there is still another what if you can get against Imperfect Cell. In this story, Vegeta lets his pride get the better of him, and instead of training with Trunks, he just settles with Super Vegeta. But this time, things are a little different than normal. Vegeta and Trunks make their way to Cell, but it's clear that Super Vegeta is vastly above Cell's second form, so Vegeta allows Cell to hunt down and absorb 18. Trunks tries to get in the way and stop Vegeta, but it's too late. Android 18 is absorbed. The perfect android is born, but this version of Vegeta isn't going to let a simple upgrade deter his victory. As Vegeta says,
Perfectly ordinary is more like it.
instead of Cell playing around with Vegeta and regenerating from the final flash like it's nothing, we, as Vegeta, have to take down Perfect Cell as fast as possible, getting a clean shot into the perfect android, and killing Perfect Cell once and for all, along with all the androids he absorbed. I guess he must have just barely missed the nucleus in the original version. Realizing that he's truly broken through the Super Saiyan barrier, Vegeta is cockier than ever, proclaiming to Goku that this is the power of Super Vegeta. But by doing so, he uses the accursed thumb pose, so he probably ate dirt right after Goku and Gohan stepped out of the time chamber. With a lot of these Cell arc what-ifs, Android 16 ends up surviving, but he's never really mentioned. But it would have been cool to have him around in the Buu saga. Since Goku is around to train with him for 7 years, I doubt Vegeta would accept the Majin power from Babidi. Which brings us to... It's been 7 years since the fateful match between Gohan and Cell, and now the young Saiyan invites Vegeta and the others to the World Tournament. There, Goku will visit Earth for a single day. In order to prepare, Vegeta takes Trunks out to train. He has to be ready for the Super Saiyan bargain sale. This is one of the strangest ways to unlock a what-if, and it's really easy to miss, since to get to this path, you don't do something in the Majin Vegeta stage. Instead, you have to fight Kid Trunks while taking as little damage as possible. Only then will the option to reject Babidi be granted to you. Was it that easy? By the game's logic, if Vegeta dodged that one punch, none of this would have happened? Anyways, Trunks praises his father for being so strong, as Vegeta reveals that he's never stopped training, even through his greatest hardships, showing a true change of heart. When Trunks looks sad that he won't get to go to a theme park, Vegeta still promises to take him regardless, a promise he would eventually fulfill in Dragon Ball Super Episodes 2, as long as he agrees to keep training together as Super Saiyans. So Trunks is not gonna get to hang out with Goten today. Overall, Vegeta seems to be in a better spot mentally than usual. Sure, Goku died and they never got a rematch, but he pushed it all away, continued training, and didn't get punched in the face by an 8-year-old. The day of the tournament arrives, with Goku and Vegeta drawing each other as their very first match. But when Spopovich and Yamu reveal themselves, the Saiyans have no option but to listen to the Supreme Kai and follow them to Babidi's ship. There, Vegeta gets frustrated at the Gohan vs Dabura fight, wanting to just challenge Kakarot instead. Sensing the anger in Vegeta, Babidi tries to tap into the darkness within him, whispering about the power he could finally have to face Goku. But thanks to us avoiding Trunks' punches, we get the option: take advantage of Babidi's brainwashing, or reject it to fight Kakarot with our own strength. So Vegeta thinks to himself,
No, not even Kakarot's death could kill my ambition. I will not resort to this.
Babidi continues to use his magic on Vegeta, and all the Saiyans can do is encourage him to fight it off. Goku is about to reach out when the prince lifts his hand up to stop him.
Just who the hell do you think I am? You fool! You're dealing with the proud prince of all Saiyans! And you actually believed you could control me?
It really is amazing to see Vegeta feel all that power within him, pushed into Super Saiyan, only to spell out all that energy and manipulation, breaking away from Babidi's mind control on sheer force of will. For me, this is legitimately one of the rawest moments in the game. Like, no joke, I stood up when he powered through Babidi's mind control. I felt that. But that experience made him realize that he can't wait anymore. He doesn't need the Majin power. What he really needs is to settle the score with Goku once and for all. Goku's training in Otherworld and Vegeta's training on Earth have all led up to this. Goku can see the burning fighting spirit within Vegeta, but Babidi isn't going to just let them play around without giving energy to Majin Buu, summoning Dabura once more. But this time, Vegeta promises to kill Babidi and his minion underlings for insulting his pride. Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta finishes off Dabura with a big bang attack, and he stops Babidi from escaping. By killing the wizard, Buu's resurrection is halted, and the universe is saved by none other than the Prince of the Saiyans. Somehow, they're able to destroy Buu's egg, which means this universe doesn't get those weird little Cybermen clones from Dragon Ball Daima. I do love Ku and Du. Krillin and Piccolo have also calmed down from being stoned. Shin thanks the prince for his good work, but he didn't do it for the universe or peace. Dabura and Babidi were just in the way of what he truly wants: the rematch with Kakarot. Although the tournament is over, Goku approaches his old friend, the announcer, who is happy to hold an exhibition match for Goku and Vegeta in front of the whole crowd. Goku reminds Vegeta that they can't go all out, so this will have to be a battle of pure skill and ability. Their friends and family cheering them on from the sidelines. The two Saiyans take their iconic battle poses.
This is it, Kakarot! Today I will prove who's the strongest Saiyan warrior of all!
Tell me this isn't peak Dragon Ball. No gods, not even transformations, just the two rivals going at it in front of a cheering crowd. And if it was up to me, something like this would be their final battle. Here, we get a spin of Vegeta's "You are number one" speech. But rather than coming to understand Goku's will, Vegeta reminisces on his own journey. When Goku died, the prince thought that his goal was out of reach, but he persevered, since he could still feel in his heart that they would eventually meet again. Goku can tell how strong Vegeta's gotten over the years, while the audience watches the most incredible tournament match ever, until finally, Goku is pushed out of the arena, and Vegeta is crowned the winner. Goku admits that Vegeta is the strongest one he's ever seen, finally settling the score as allies, rather than enemies, symbolized by their handshake. And so, the Z Fighters gather together to spend what little time they have left with Goku, before he returns to Otherworld. As he says goodbye, Goku drops something huge, a power he discovered while being dead: Super Saiyan 3. In Vegeta's eyes, this means that he hasn't beaten Goku just yet. But he's still not discouraged. This is just a new mountain to climb. Goku tells Vegeta that maybe he should come to Otherworld, where there's a ton of amazing fighters. But Vegeta doesn't want to die just yet. Still, he tells Goku to never stop training, since the next time they see each other, they will have to battle in Otherworld. Goku leaves with Baba, and Vegeta is left with one final thought.
And I'll win then too, for I am number one.
With Goku remaining dead and no old Kai freed, things are very different going into Super, Daima as well. I guess Dr. Arinsu just stood there watching as Majin Buu was defeated. Maybe Vegeta is the one who goes into the demon realm first and discovers Super Saiyan 4 somehow. Looks like they'll have to get Tarble to do the god ritual, unless Whis forces Goku back to life. Without Goku to train and let out all that pent-up energy, I could see Vegeta forcing Trunks and, by extension, Goten to train more. Maybe even Gohan, crashing his lectures to force him to fight and never taking no for an answer. Earth definitely has their hands full with Vegeta. Next up, we have a smaller what if, one where we pick up in the middle of the fight between Goku and Majin Vegeta. The prince knocks out Goku and heads to confront Majin Buu. I think it's really sweet here that he specifically wants to avenge Gohan, since his ki disappeared and he thinks he's dead. The fight begins, but Vegeta needs to finish off Buu as fast as possible without the final explosion to unlock this path. Ultimately, Vegeta is able to defeat both Babidi and Buu, regardless of the fact that Buu is clearly intact. It doesn't really get explained how he defeated Buu. Maybe he just screamed loud enough this time? I mean, if the final explosion didn't work, what insane power did Vegeta have to just beat the soul out of Buu? Either way, it was his wish to protect Trunks that pushed him into victory. With Babidi dead, the spell is lifted from Vegeta, and he is reunited with everyone. Trunks runs to his father, and with a rare smile, he lifts his son up in victory. And with that, Vegeta takes Trunks to a theme park. Of course, Gohan wasn't actually dead. Since Buu is gone, the old Kai is never freed, and Gohan probably stopped his Seesaw training early on. Poor Gohan. Oftentimes with these Buu saga what-ifs, he ends up never getting ultimate, and Goku stays dead, since the old Kai can't just give him his life. Looks like Dragon Ball Super will be all about Vegeta. We have one final what-if adventure for the prince to go through, and it's a pretty fun one. This time we pick up after the battles against Gohan, soon after Vegeta tricked Buu into absorbing him, freeing his friends, and turning Super Buu into the original form of the Majin, Kid Buu. After destroying Earth, Buu follows Goku, Vegeta, Dende, and Mr. Satan to the world of the Kais for one final fight. Here we actually get to pick what we throw against Goku to see who fights first, rock, scissors, or paper. Even if you do win, Vegeta ends up fighting Kid Buu for like 2 seconds and then Goku demands to switch. And while watching him fight, Vegeta thinks to himself how he understands why Goku fights, and why he can always surpass his limits, because he is number 1. Only for Goku to stop the fight and tell Vegeta that he can't beat Buu. He needs time to gather his ki, so it's up to Vegeta to handle Buu in the meantime. But in this what if, Vegeta takes it a little too far and ends up nearly killing Kid Buu, while Goku took his sweet time. Together, Goku and Vegeta charged their most powerful attacks, the Big Bang and Kamehameha combination, completely wiping out Kid Buu and bringing peace to the universe. And with no time to waste, Vegeta turns to Goku and demands a rematch once more. I guess that since they were able to defeat Buu earlier, they have enough pent-up energy in the tank to keep going. On Earth, everyone is revived, and they can finally rest. Thanks to the wish to revive everyone, Vegeta is also back. Shin cannot believe that they'd rather keep fighting than rest after all that trouble. That's exactly it, as Vegeta says.
Of course, we're Saiyans.
He's right, Supreme Kai. What I want more than anything is to fight with Vegeta again.
Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta and Super Saiyan 3 Goku rush at each other to settle things once more. The two rivals turn friends, pushing each other little by little to overcome whatever wall is in front of them, even if it is each other. They both want the other to get stronger, because it only means they'll have a new challenge to overcome. And so, despite having a weaker form, Vegeta is able to break past his limits and take down Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Still, he admits, Kakarot is a freak of nature, the way he can put up a fight. Since Goku had just recently returned to life, and doesn't have his dead body to make up for the massive drain of Super Saiyan 3, maybe this is why Vegeta was able to beat him once again. Goku returns the compliment to Vegeta, surprised that Super Saiyan 3 wasn't enough. But Vegeta walks up to his fellow Saiyan and gives him a hand up. Goku promises to get stronger and win next time, and Vegeta knows it's only a matter of time before it happens. But that doesn't matter, because he'll just continue to grow, getting stronger each step of the way. In the end, both Saiyans return home, having finally come to understand each other, and leaving their animosity behind, instead replaced by their neutral desire to break past anything that comes their way, redefining what it means to be a Saiyan. Nothing much changes for this one into the future, but maybe both Saiyans train together more and get stronger and stronger earlier. Above anything, It's a nice little character piece for them both. And that's the thing about the Vegeta what-ifs. Although there are only a few of them, and sadly they don't venture into Super, they feel a lot more character-focused than the others, centering on Vegeta's mindset through the series, from his relationship with future Trunks, his boiling frustration, and his mutual respect with Goku. These are my favorite sets of what-ifs, even though they lack some of the spectacle. But of course, it would have been nice to get more. I know we all meme on Vegeta's streak of L's, but if you actually follow his arc, he has one of the most complete journeys in the series. These what-ifs just kinda prove that. Fucking Zero gave us both awesome and strange what-if stories. I've already covered Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan, so let's switch things around and do a villain this time. The Emperor of Evil himself, Lord Frieza. From what if Frieza killed the Z-Fighters, to what if he took Cooler to the Tournament of Power, there's a lot to unpack, so let's begin. We start things off on planet Namek, where Goku lands before Frieza. Instantly, Frieza recognizes Goku as the son of the Saiyan who tried to stand up against him as he destroyed planet Vegeta. Goku swears to defeat Frieza for the sake of the Saiyans, Namekians, and every person he's killed. The other warriors, Krillin, Gohan, and Piccolo, all try to stand up against the Emperor.
How I tire of swatting these flies.
But no matter what they do, they don't really stand a chance against Frieza. In the end, with an all-powerful blast, Frieza turns Goku into space dust, and soon after kills the rest of his friends.
Take this, you pathetic insect!
With the only line of defense out of the way, Frieza is free to use the Dragon Balls to wish for immortality, although there were no more Namekians around to help him make the wish, and the Grand Elder is dead. But hey, I guess ending the what if with Frieza trying to find a Namekian dictionary isn't exactly the most exciting. Now planet Namek is just another world in his roster, and soon the rest of the universe shall fall under his command. With Frieza victorious, he likely visited Earth and destroyed it just to be petty, as what ifs like Budokai 1 have also shown us. The Galactic Patrol already doesn't get in the way of Frieza, but with immortality, he will expedite the taking over of planets, becoming a universal threat, perhaps even setting his sights on other universes. But eventually, Shin would probably try and wake up Beerus to help out. After all, if Shin dies, so does the God of Destruction. Sure, Frieza is immortal, and Beerus can't kill immortal beings, but Beerus did trap the old Kai in the Z-Sword, so I could see there being an F-Sword at Beerus' planet in the future. Frieza kills Krillin in a sadistic attempt to torture Goku before killing him, only to trigger his biggest fear, the legendary Super Saiyan transformation. Frieza does what he can, but is completely overwhelmed by Goku's power, forcing him to attempt to destroy the planet and take his enemy along with him. With 5 minutes left before the planet explodes, Frieza and Goku continue to battle on the collapsing world. But unlike the original story, where Frieza's own hubris becomes his downfall, the Emperor's natural abilities are able to push him well above the Super Saiyan. Goku charges his final Kamehameha, and Frieza his Death Ball. The two attacks clash in the middle, but as Goku's words echo in his mind, the Emperor musters the power to push back the blast.
Damn! No matter the cost, I'm going to kill you! Okay! Haunted hell!
Making Goku ragdoll back, he is knocked out of Super Saiyan, and Frieza is left alone in this dying world. He can't believe he did it, and he screams out to the sky in victory. He is so proud of himself on defeating Goku that he just gives up on becoming immortal. After all, if the Super Saiyan couldn't defeat him, no one could. The Frieza Force expands, but remembering just how close he got to being defeated on Namek, Frieza also starts training. Looks like a bit of Goku rubbed off on him. Thus, Frieza slowly becomes the strongest in the universe. I wonder if he would keep all those planets around. Maybe he doesn't destroy Earth this time, and just annexes it into his empire. So he'll have to deal with Majin Buu, and maybe even the androids. In fact, what if in this universe, since Goku is dead, Jiro reprograms the androids to try and kill Frieza instead of Goku? But with enough training, nothing's gonna stand in his way, and Universe 7 is in a really dark place. This time, we find Frieza in pieces floating through space, having just been defeated by the Super Saiyan he feared. He is soon reconstructed and brought to Earth by his father to enact their revenge. But it's not Goku who stands in his way this time, but a mysterious future warrior. Trunks tells Frieza that he's here to kill them, but the Emperor isn't amused. The secret of this young man is that Son Goku isn't the only Super Saiyan. Frieza and Trunks clash as the other Z fighters watch, but the cybernetic augmentations and rage Frieza felt was enough to surpass the Saiyan. Trunks laments that he couldn't buy Earth any more time. I guess the battle took a long time, since as the fight came to an end, a Ginyu Force space pod landed, none other than Goku. Why he didn't just teleport in when he felt Trunks was dying is anyone's guess. But he's not going to stand idly by as Frieza destroys his home. This is exactly what Frieza wanted. Rushing in at Goku, despite Goku's training on Yardrat, he stands no chance against the Emperor. And so, with Goku's death, Frieza personally travels across the world, destroying it city by city, as punishment for his humiliating defeat on Namek. With his revenge completed, he and his father return to space to conquer even more worlds. Frieza's cybernetic upgrades were kind of a rushed job to save his life. So now that there's nothing left to stand in his way, I'm sure he'll get a more refined version, probably hiding all the mechanical parts. Or he could go the other way around and get the insane version of Mecha Frieza with a grenade tail and a giant bazooka from Super Dragon Ball Z. This Frieza will also probably try to train a little bit more, just in case someone like Goku shows up again. Maybe he begins the plan he did in Broly, trying to find other powerful beings to bring into his empire, finding Paragus and his son, growing his power more and more, bringing down the Galactic Patrol and the like. But a lot of these Frieza ones come down to, is Beerus gonna step in? Because their universal ranking is just gonna plummet. But if Frieza gets strong enough, I'm sure Beerus would be amused, and would want to keep him around, while also keeping an eye on him to make sure he doesn't get out of line. But in the background, Frieza and King Cold would be planning to expand beyond the reaches of Universe 7. Oh, how I hope that one day we get an arc in a different universe. Frieza has been revived by his forces, and now seeks revenge on the Saiyans. But he knows his power won't be enough to defeat the Super Saiyan who once stood in his way, especially after so many years of adventures. Thus, he trains for the first time in his life, achieving Golden Frieza, a color specifically chosen to mock the splendor of the Super Saiyan who defeated him. Upon arriving on Earth, the Emperor greets the Simians, explaining how excited he is to finally enact his revenge. Although he is surprised to see Vegeta there as well. He was kinda hoping that they just kill each other. No matter, taking out 2 monkeys for the price of 1 is preferable after all. Goku's surprised to see Frieza in the flesh. Last time he saw him, he was split in half on Namek. But as the battle begins, even Goku has to admit just how strong Frieza is. The fruit of Frieza's first time putting in effort is at full display. The two of them transform into their new states, Super Saiyan Blue versus Golden Frieza. It's too bad Frieza is so evil, because he'd make a perfect training partner. Frieza takes this as nothing more than an insult. Halfway through the battle, the god of destruction Beerus appears down on Earth. The Emperor is terrified, one of the few beings who can send a chill down Frieza's spine, even asking if he wants him to stop the battle. But Beerus is entertained, and just tells him to not get dust all over his ice cream. In this alternate story, Frieza had more time to master his golden form, and has to quickly defeat both Goku and Vegeta without needing to bring himself to the point where he has to blow up the planet. No. This time, he has proven his golden superiority. So of course, this changes everything. Goku and Vegeta lay on the floor defeated, and he gets ready to kill them both with a death ball. But just as he's about to launch it, Beerus steps in front of the Saiyans. Frieza descends, confused. He thought that his revenge meant little to Beerus. Was he wrong? But upon seeing Bulma standing behind him, Frieza cocks an eyebrow. Oh, the god is doing this for the Earthlings, isn't he? How rare for a god of destruction to want to preserve life. Beerus is annoyed at this presumption, and tells Frieza that normally he'd allow him to destroy Earth, but he still finds the planet useful. After all, it's because of its inhabitants that Frieza was able to reach this new form in the first place. Really, it seems like Goku's philosophy rubs off on everyone he faces. It was thanks to him and the humiliating defeat that Frieza pushed himself for the first time in his life. So, he will spare the planet, under 2 conditions. First of all, the god should not interfere in Frieza Force plans, and 2, he will be allowed to use the Dragon Balls to revive his soldiers. Beerus has no objections, especially seeing as how, besides him and Whis, Frieza is now the strongest in the universe. And so, with Goku and Vegeta defeated, the Emperor brings his army back, the Ginyu Force, Zarbon, and Dodoria, but their old power will not be enough in this new era, and so he begins training them to become the mightiest in all the universes. So a little more time passes, and Frieza once again meets face to face with Lord Beerus, who has a request. The Emperor is needed for the Tournament of Power. Frieza agrees, since if there's no universe, there's nothing for him to rule. But under one condition. Since the Dragon Team is allowed to choose the warriors for the team, he reasons that he should also be allowed to pick his teammates. He would perform better alongside someone he knows and trusts. Beerus asks Frieza who he has in mind, and we get something rare and interesting. Multiple what-ifs within a what-if. We get the option between Dodoria and Zarbon, the Ginyu Force, King Cold, and Cooler out of all people. As far as I remember, this is the only time a movie-only character is used in the story mode. It's pretty cool, so let's take it one at a time. Zarbon and Dodoria were Frieza's most trusted advisors back in the golden age of the Frieza Force. They were an obvious choice, though as far as power goes, even with the extra training, they're still far below most warriors. Beerus is a bit confused by this, but Frieza reaffirms that the tournament wouldn't be just about raw strength. They will need warriors with different skill sets who can think quickly on their feet. Still, this is a pretty crazy choice that would likely get everyone killed, but I digress. Beerus accepts, seeing how these soldiers will follow orders better than any of the Z fighters ever could. Together, the three enter the tournament, instructing Zarbon and Dodoria to be flexible and improvise, while Frieza keeps an eye out for potential future Frieza Force recruits, something that's a recurring theme in all of these what-ifs. The expansion of the Empire is at hand, and the fight begins. Their first challenge is against Bergamo from Universe 9. Frieza is insulted at the dogs barking at him, while Dodoria mocks him. Bergamo just calls him a fat ass when suddenly Kakunza lands to fight Frieza as well. Frieza really doesn't care for these animals and simply wants to fight them both at once, alongside his soldiers. I gotta say, it is an insane sight to see Zarbon and Dodoria in this scenario. One of the cooler ideas in this game, as silly as it is. But as their two enemies are defeated, another opponent enters the fray. Frost.
Greetings. Hope none of you mind if I join the fun.
What in the... Am I saying double?
2 Lord Friezas?
Don't make me kill the two of you. You should know better. There is only one Frieza. No one else compares.
There can only be one true Emperor of Evil. Of course, no one could stand up against him, and Frost is easily dispatched. And thanks to his force, Frieza is able to keep his real power a secret until the final battle against Jiren, where he defeats the Pride Troopers using his golden form. Sadly, none of these really show the wish or anything like that, though the Grand Priest did mention that if a selfish wish was made, such as Frieza wishing for immortality, or the expansion of his empire into other universes, then Zeno would have simply erased everything. So it's not like much else could have happened going forward, unless Frieza thought of this and wished to become the Omni King himself. Now that would have been an insane turn of events, placing everyone under his control, but allowing the Saiyans to live and suffer under his rule. Goku and the others would have had to train and do everything they can. Maybe Beerus and the other gods of destruction eventually joined the rebellion against Frieza, or tried to escape to the Demon Realm, where the Omni King doesn't rule, though perhaps a little too dark of a future with Frieza as the lead. Frieza this time chooses the Ginyu Force, his mightiest soldiers, with strange and impressive abilities. Beerus is perplexed by this choice. That's over half the entire Tournament of Power team, so I wonder who they took out. Roshi, Krillin, Tien, Piccolo, and 18 maybe? Kinda crazy to ditch them for Goldo. Frieza reasons that, although they may not be as strong as Goku and Vegeta, their teamwork is unrivaled. This will be the key to their victory in a battle royale like this. Frieza is confident in his special squad, and, although reluctant, Beerus agrees to allow them into the ring. Surely, this will guarantee their victory royale. And so, Frieza and his special squad pose their way to the Tournament of Power. Just like with the previous choice, Frieza will be scouting new Frieza Force members as he instructs the Ginyu Force to stick together and work as a team. But their first opponent is perhaps Frieza's worst nightmare, the Pride Troopers. Not only are they the strongest team around, but have just as many ridiculous poses as his own Ginyu Force. But that's not all, with Ribrianne's fireballs striking their own poses. The three stylish teams are at odds with each other, and the Emperor feels like throwing up, having a bad feeling about this. Frieza truly wishes he hadn't seen that at all. But if anything, this is exactly what Ginyu wanted to see, telling Frieza that any of these powerful and beautiful poses, I mean warriors, would make fine additions to their empire. Frieza scoffs. This is not what he needs under his command, especially not with that corny fashion sense. Ribrianne and the others take a huge offense to their beauty being insulted, and the battle begins. Let's make a show of it. While Frieza takes down Ribrianne, the Ginyu Force teams up against the other fireballs. The Emperor really shows off, while the Ginyus loudly cheer for their Emperor, knocking their team out of bounds with a death beam. But they're not out of the woods just yet, as Toppo challenges them next. Toppo announces that Frieza is too great of a threat, and so this time, the Emperor commands the Force to stand back and watch, blocking anyone from interrupting. This is his battle to win. They scream out embarrassing words of encouragement, while Frieza turns his attention to the Pride Trooper. Frieza mocks Toppo's ideals of justice as meaningless in front of his might, pushing Toppo as far as giving up on those ideals for the sake of the power of the God of Destruction. But it's still not enough. To Frieza, he is nothing but another piece of garbage down the space garbage chute. With an explosion of ki, Toppo is defeated, and thanks to their teamwork, Universe 7 wins once more. It's kind of a missed opportunity not showing the Ginyu Force posing with like Anilaza in place of Ginyu's regular body, implying some crazy adventures off screen. I do hope the Ginyu Force convince Frieza to recruit some more stylish fighters into the Force. This time around, Frieza suggests his father to be the one to accompany him to the Tournament of Power. This is probably the weirdest choice, since, I mean, it's kinda crazy he's in the game in the first place. I know he was in Tenkaichi 3, but no Super 17?
He was a horrible son.
Grievances aside, Beerus had thought that King Cold retired a long time ago, and he is right.
You are correct. However, my father still likes to get his exercise, and he's almost as powerful as I.
This is an insane thing to say, coming from a Frieza who's been training after Resurrection F. So, did he get Golden King Cold? Frieza says that his alliance with Goku is only temporary, and it would be better to have a true ally by his side. Beerus understands, counting on Goku to collect the other members. And so, Frieza and his father join the Tournament of Power, noting that they are not the only father-son duo here, since Goku and Gohan are also there. During the tournament, they will scout talented warriors from other universes. But of course, since we chose two racists for the Tournament of Power, the first target is the Universe 6 Saiyans. King Cold is disgusted by their presence. Frieza even asks if there's more monkeys in his neighboring universe, which, yikes. Kale is nervous, but Caulifla says that she'll handle this wannabe Frost. Frieza sees this universe where Saiyans didn't go extinct as the perfect opportunity. King Cold wonders if Frieza wants to bring in these Super Saiyans into the army, and all Frieza can do is laugh. Sure, he can't battle Goku, but he can beat these other Saiyans into submission. Sadly, he also can't kill them. Caulifla is tired of all the talking. She just wants to battle, which makes Frieza realize just how similar she is to the Saiyans he reigned over. But as Frieza overwhelms Caulifla, Kale explodes in rage, her power rising, overflowing, and knocking King Cold out of the arena. In the end, Frieza's hatred is enough to bring Kale to her knees.
Kale, come on! Say something!
But thanks to Caulifla's encouragement, she's able to get a hold of herself. With no choices left, the Saiyans fuse into Kefla. This only makes Frieza realize how desperate they must be to try something like that. But he's got his own party tricks, and he doesn't need anyone's help to do it.
Before I send you both plummeting at once, here's a taste of my true form's unrivaled power!
You gave yourself some gold plating? What a joke!
Golden Frieza. Kefla mocks him and rushes in as they clash fists. But even fused, Frieza reigns supreme, and thanks to Frieza single-handedly taking them down, the rest of Universe 7 can save their energies for the final battle, winning the tournament. With the focus on the Saiyans in this What If, it makes me wonder if Frieza would be more interested in going outside of Universe 7 and trying to rule over the Universe 6 Saiyans instead, or just killing them, forcing Vegeta and Goku to team up with Kale, Caulifla, and Kaba in order to stop him. It's about time we get a new arc in a different universe. I saved this one for last because it's the weirdest choice. Well, really, I was just going in order of power, but it's still strange that he's the only movie character in all these stories. Frieza tells Beerus that he'd like to enlist his older brother, Cooler. Beerus is surprised. He thought they weren't on the best of terms. And yes, this is true, but they were once the strongest duo in the universe.
Being cut from the same cloth as me, he's not likely to fall behind the others.
Beerus allows it, as long as there's no family drama on the field. Thus, the lineage of evil makes it to the Tournament of Power. Does this reality's version of Goku know Cooler? Did he fight him, or is this the first time meeting him? Either way, Frieza instructs his brother to do whatever he can to win, while he scouts new talent. This Frieza really wants new Frieza Force members, huh? But as the battles begin, Frieza sees that Cooler is struggling against Hit's time skip. He sneaks up on the assassin and attacks from behind, asking him if he's so rusty as to be unable to knock a single opponent out of bounds. Together, the two brothers get ready for battle, as Hit advises them to just give up. Funny thing is, Frieza was about to say the same thing to him, as he slaps an attack away. It's a difficult battle for the pair, as Hit's time skip is unlike anything they've ever had to deal with. Cooler is impressed by Frieza's abilities in battle, as they clash all over the ring.
Color me impressed, brother.
Finally pushing Hit out. Thanks to this, Universe 7 continues to win the tournament, and the legend of the Cold Clan spreads across the universe. Sadly, this is the shortest one of them all. I feel like you could have done cooler stuff with Cooler. Since Cooler is part of this timeline, their victory together would likely mean more cooperation between the two brothers, as the Frieza Force expands across the universes. In order to keep up with his brother, Cooler would likely train to achieve his own version of Golden, or whatever color he chooses, I guess. And despite their teamwork, jealousy, and a desire to conquer would likely get in the way. Even with Goku and the others trying to stop them, I could see Vegeta talk no jutsu in Cooler and convincing him that the true enemy is Frieza. After all, he's taking up stuff that could be his own, leading a civil war that would lead into a mutual destruction, where Frieza would probably win because he's the more experienced and master of the Golden form. Though Goku and the others would team up alongside Cooler, and after he falls, it would be just enough to push Frieza over the edge and bring the Empire down. But that's just a hypothesis way into the future that would likely never happen. Or you could say it's just a theory, a sparking zero theory. The main theme across all of these was Frieza wanting new members, so it makes me wonder who exactly he chose. Maybe the people from Universe 9? They seem like the worst ones, the most evil. They would probably do anything to get out of that universe. Frieza's What Ifs attempt to take things into a different route. I wish there was more for him to do in the Frieza arc, maybe showing him dealing with the androids or Boo after beating the heroes. But the idea that he is the one that gets all the different options for the Tournament of Power is pretty funny, and we get some neat interactions we would have never gotten otherwise. I mean, the Ginyu Force reacting to all the poses from all the other teams is just a lot of fun. But like with many of the other What Ifs, I wish there was just more. Sparking Zero brought us some crazy What If stories. I've already covered Goku and Vegeta, so it's time to go over our favorite nerdy Saiyan, Gohan. From Zamasu stealing his body and becoming Gohan Black, to what if Gohan stopped Spopovich from beating Videl? There's a lot to unpack, so let's dive in. We start the first What If in the middle of the battle between Super Saiyan Gohan and Cell, with Goku having entrusted the fate of the world to his son. But when Gohan holds back, Cell takes the chance to unleash the Cell Juniors and have them attack the heroes. But thanks to Android 16's words, Gohan is finally able to unleash his power into Super Saiyan 2. To unlock the What If, Gohan has to defeat the Cell Jr. as fast as possible, a singular Cell Jr. The other ones must have gotten too scared and ran off, which causes Cell to show up in his place. Beating up his kids got him really upset. We then have to quickly defeat Cell as well. Ultimately, Gohan is able to finish off the bio-android once and for all with a blast up to the sky. He smiles into the distance, the world free from Cell, Nucleus and all. Goku approaches his son and congratulates him for being the savior he knew him to be. With Cell defeated and no casualties, the future seems clearer than ever. Goku and Gohan will likely train more together over the 7 years, adding Goten into the equation eventually. With Goku around, Vegeta will also get that rematch he always wanted, and much more through the years. Probably no Majin Vegeta. Overall, the Saiyans are looking to be stronger than normal, though with that other world, Goku will have a harder time discovering Super Saiyan 3. But knowing him, he'll just show up with it discovered anyways and pull it out against Buu. Unless Goku and Vegeta find out about it together. It's a short and simple what-if story, and we're just beginning. Next up, we have a what-if based on the highest viewed Dragon Ball Z episode in Japan, weirdly enough. The World Tournament is on its way, but Vidal's match against Popovich is turned into a bloodbath. The episode following Vidal's beating was the highest viewed in Japan, which just tells me that people really wanted to see Gohan beat the snot off of Popovich, and that's exactly what we're about to do. The game gives us the option to stay calm or attempt to stop the fight. I don't really want my girlfriend to die, so we'll step in. Although the others try to stop him, Gohan explodes into Super Saiyan and rushes in at Popovich. Gohan knocks a few teeth off, but just like in the original story, Shin paralyzes Gohan, allowing Popovich and Yamu to take his energy. Of course, this was part of the plan to follow the Majins to Babidi's spaceship, but Popovich really had it coming. He's gotta be one of the most hateable characters in Dragon Ball. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this one, sadly. Nothing really changes except for Gohan getting his frustrations and anger out. Maybe this means he'll be able to fight with more fury against Dabura. And speaking of which... Following the last what if, Gohan and the others make their way to Babidi's spaceship. They're about to face the Demon King Dabura, but Vegeta berates Gohan, telling him that he's a far call from the young boy who defeated Cell.
As things are now, I could knock him over in my sleep.
And that only if he snaps will they get a real show. Normally, Dabura would give Gohan a run for his money, which ends up frustrating Vegeta even more, but not this time. Dabura lands and the battle begins. As a Super Saiyan 2, we need to prove ourselves to Vegeta and finish off the Demon King quickly. Gohan defeats Dabura with a powerful Kamehameha, clearing a path to Babidi and Buu. In the end, we're able to stop the resurrection, and this small adventure comes to an end. If only Dabura had the evil third eye. I'm not exactly sure what they do with the egg after that. Maybe Beerus Hakaiser eventually. Goku is happily surprised by Gohan's power, and now he wants to spar with him. So the heroes return to the World Tournament, finally able to enjoy a few matches. Assuming they finish the adventure early enough, that is. Goku and Vegeta's battle would surely be the most spectacular one, but seeing how Goku really wants to fight Gohan here, I could see him beating Vegeta and the father-son duo being one of the last few matches. Gohan would likely win while Goku keeps Super Saiyan 3 a secret until after the tournament. Otherwise, we would get that stage transition where everybody runs out of there. But seeing how his daughter just got beaten half to death, I think Gohan would let Mr. Satan win. Goku would then show Super Saiyan 3 to Gohan and Vegeta, showing that despite being dead, he's no slouch, and they better not slow down either. And so, Goku returns to Otherworld. This is another simple what-if about Gohan getting slightly angrier and beating someone faster. The next one is similar, but with a few more interesting implications. Gohan makes his way to Earth, having his potential awoken by the old Kai, ready to stop Super Buu.
You.
Only for him to absorb Piccolo and Gotenks. To save his friends and family, Gohan takes down Buu as fast as possible, not letting his new powers get to his head. Because of this, Gotenks' time runs out within Buu, and he goes back to his normal self, ignoring the fact that he should have technically become his Piccolo-absorbed version, since they didn't want to make a new model for him. Buu instead tries to absorb Gohan, but the Saiyan is way too fast, and easily avoids the absorption, and blasting him away with an all-consuming Kamehameha that disintegrates the Majin to his last atom. And so, peace returns to Earth. Though, without Vegeta to go inside and rescue everyone, the kids, Piccolo, and Fat Buu all die. But I guess most of them died in the actual story anyways, so Gohan is the hero once more. since Gohan proved his power. Maybe this will encourage him to train even more. And of course, pique the interest of Vegeta, who'll force him to spar. Surely Gohan will return to his studies though, but now his role as protector of Earth is cemented. So maybe he'll actually show up in Daima, going to the Demon Realm and taking things a little more seriously than Goku. He could be the first Super Saiyan God if they find Tarble, but I think it's more interesting to have him become Beast early instead. Without enough Saiyans for the ritual, Beerus would want to destroy the planet, and in order to protect his friends and family, Gohan unleashes the Beast early. Sure, it's no Super Saiyan God, but Beerus would be impressed. There's no way Vegeta will let him get ahead though, and goes to train at Beerus's. Something I don't think Gohan will want to right away, since he just became a father. Because Gohan was the one to achieve that next level, I could see Goten and Trunks also wanting to put in more effort. So even if Goku isn't around, Earth is still being protected. This is the big one of the best in the game. The one that got leaked just before it came out and everyone freaked out. You really had to be there, it looked unbelievable. Our story begins around Resurrection F. It's been a long time since Gohan has taken fighting seriously, now that he's a great scholar and has a daughter. All whilst Goku goes off to train with Beerus. But a dark cloud loomed overhead as Frieza was revived by his underlings and seeks revenge as he invades Earth. The team, except for Yamcha, comes together to face Frieza and asks what he wants. But it's obvious, he wants revenge for what the Saiyans have done to him. But Goku isn't around, and Frieza won't leave until he hears his cries for mercy. Bulma does a bit of her own power scaling, and says that since Gohan defeated Cell as a kid, then he should be able to take down Frieza easily. But it's not that simple. Frieza did like 10 push-ups on the way to Earth, so he's clearly a lot stronger. This makes Frieza realize that he's dealing with Goku's son, who attacked him back on Namek. In response, he sends out a single Frieza soldier. It's funny because this was obviously supposed to be either Tagoma or Shizame, but the game only throws a rando at us. Piccolo wants to help, but Gohan is firm on this. He's not a kid anymore, so this Gohan is already much more headstrong than usual. As he explains during the fight, this is all because his daughter was born that year, and it's his duty to protect the peace of the world, so she can live a happy life. Gohan is able to easily take down the soldier, only for Frieza to enter the battlefield. To activate the What If, Gohan has to take as little damage as possible while getting Frieza lower in health, forcing him to transform into his final form, and Gohan bursts into Super Saiyan 2. Frieza is surprised by Gohan's power, truly the son of Goku, while Gohan himself is slowly regaining his fighting spirit. Gohan proclaims that now that he's defeated Frieza's final form, they're done here. Also, Goten and Trunks are now here, while everybody else except for Piccolo is gone. But Frieza isn't done yet. If anything, Gohan acting in his father's place only angered him more. The Emperor fires a death beam at the kids, but Gohan jumps in the way, trying to kill his friends and family, while Gohan was giving him a chance to leave is the one thing he's not going to forgive. So, Gohan tweaks out and regains his ultimate form. Frieza is surprised to see that, despite not having his ridiculous golden hair, he's even stronger than a Super Saiyan. Frieza sees this as pure arrogance, something he is more than willing to match, as he ascends into Golden Frieza. The Emperor claims that he'll show mercy and keep his suffering to a minimum if they surrender. But Gohan stands firm. He's come this far to protect those he loves, showing us that he hasn't stopped training. Gohan's power rises to the max. Coupled with his rage, he's ready to continue the battle, showing Piccolo a smirk as he gets ready. Although Frieza wants to kill Goku, murdering Gohan is a good option too, but he won't get the chance. Gohan's ultimate state makes all of Frieza's attacks seem slow in comparison. Frieza's losing both the fight and his mind, showing mercy. Gohan says that if he stops now and retreats, then the assault will stop. But Frieza refuses, seeing every word coming out of Gohan's mouth as an insult. In the end, Gohan pushes Frieza to his limits. Gohan defeats Frieza once and for all, tapping out of Ultimate. Clearly extremely worn out by the encounter. The kids celebrate with him, but the battle made both Piccolo and Gohan realize just how rusty he is. Although he was stronger, he was still fighting for his life out there. He can't just run away and cry like when he was a kid. And with so much to protect at stake, he asks Piccolo to once again train together like old times. Gohan and Piccolo begin their new training journey, even visiting the sacred realm of the Kais, and developing his ultimate form more and more. He's even invited to the Universe 6 tournament, ditching his presentation unlike the normal timeline. This is when the best fight in the whole game happens. A still image of space with Gohan and Hit fighting, because there's no Universe 6 stage. This one screenshot is so incredible that all the other universes watch it on GodTube. At the World of the Kais, Goku congratulates Gohan, but the scholar isn't satisfied just yet, knowing that he would have likely lost in a real battle. To everyone's surprise, Vegeta is the one to encourage Gohan and tell him that he is training hard enough and that his power is impressive. Shin also explains that while the old Kai helped, it was Gohan's own determination that pushed him to where he is now. So much so that the other Kais are talking about it. Gohan's a bit embarrassed by this, and so some time passes. Back at Capsule Corp, Gohan has begun training with Goten and Trunks when suddenly a familiar time machine appears. It's Trunks, and he's severely injured. When he regains consciousness, he immediately attacks Gohan. After hearing his voice, he starts to calm down, only for a dark presence to appear overhead. Gohan and Trunks rush towards the strange portal in the sky. From it, someone unbelievable appears. Gohan himself, but with a dark and twisted energy. Gohan is confused, but Trunks explains that this is Gohan in body, not in spirit. Black has arrived through a tear in space-time created by the Time Ring. He was trying to follow Trunks, but turns his attention to Gohan with a smile. Trunks rushes in, but is easily slapped away. Together, the Half Saiyans are ready to fight, with Black admitting that he'd been looking forward to a battle against Gohan in this new body. While Gohan is still confused, his instincts tell him that this may be their worst enemy yet. Starting off in Super Saiyan 2, Gohan says that he hates fighting this twisted mirror version of himself, wondering how it's even possible. But no matter how much Black is damaged, it'll only make him stronger and stronger. In the middle of the fight, Black is pulled back through the portal and into the future. The team retreat and rest, while Goku, Beerus, and Whis arrive back at Capsule Corp. Trunks explains everything. Black appeared in the future and proclaimed that he'd kill every mortal for the sake of his twisted justice. Trunks came back in time to ask for everyone's help before it's too late for his timeline. But now that he's seen Gohan have a family and a career, he doesn't want to rope his old friend into this. But Gohan can see the conflict within Trunks, and he offers his help. Whis and Beerus also explain that the ring Black was wearing was a time ring, a divine artifact reserved for the Kaioshin. Just like in the original story, Beerus and Whis suspect that a Kai in training named Zamasu may be the one responsible for this, and decide to pay a visit to Gowasu in Universe 10. Gohan goes along with them and spars with Zamasu, but their investigation proves fruitless. Instead, Gohan, Trunks, Vegeta, and Goku head back to the future to save the world. Once there, they are all in shock to see the death and destruction. They're confronted by both Black and Zamasu. This confuses everyone, since they thought that Black and Zamasu were the same person while fighting Gohan. Zamasu explains his plan to achieve paradise, and how he and Black are comrades. But no matter what they throw at them, Zamasu just recovers, revealing that he is immortal. Things are looking hopeless, as Trunks tells everyone to escape to the past, figure out a plan, and recover. It's a bitter defeat for our heroes. Back in the present, Beerus destroys Zamasu to prevent any more atrocities in their own timeline. Beerus says that this should get rid of the future Zamasu, clearly unaware of the parallel timelines theory. So in the meantime, Piccolo teaches Gohan the Mafuba, a technique used on the original King Piccolo long ago to seal him away. This may be their only chance to defeat the immortal Zamasu. In a quiet, touching scene, Gohan asks his master to be honest with him. Can Gohan really do this? Can he help save the future? After all, the evil containment wave has a very small window of success. Piccolo stops Gohan, telling him that this isn't the time for self-doubt. They all know just how powerful he is, telling his student that he knows that Gohan can do anything.
If you have the will, you can do anything. That includes using the evil containment wave and saving Trunks. And you know I'd have no reason to lie to you, right?
The Saiyan thanks Piccolo and promises to save the future. Thus, the team return to the future timeline, where they find Trunks facing off against Black and Zamasu. It's time for Gohan to confront Black. The evil Saiyan transforms into Ultimate Rose? I don't know, he transforms into something. But this isn't just potential unleashed. This is him unleashing his godly power within. but Black's knowledge of the Supreme Kai ritual gives him a hint at his true identity. Black says that Gohan's godly potential awakening is nothing more than a mortal trying to get close to godhood, only further exemplified by the battle against Hit, proving just how arrogant these mortals are to see themselves as above the gods. This finally pieces everything together. Zamasu had stolen Gohan's body using the Super Dragon Balls, granting him unimaginable power. Black and Zamasu rise to the sky and proclaim their true power of the gods, taking off one Potara each and fusing into merged Zamasu. It's kinda hard to tell at first, but he does have a new design based on Gohan Black. Zamasu proclaims his new reign as the Saiyans fire their attacks all at once, rejecting his dark justice, only for Zamasu's Blade of Judgment to stomp out their blasphemy. All the while, Zamasu mocks Gohan by telling him just how his family suffered when he killed them. Pan, Videl, both dead in the timeline where Zamasu stole his body. His face had been the last one they saw. This forces Gohan back into the fight, his rage rising to the max. But once he comes to his senses, he realizes just how hurt his allies are. They retreat and recover with senzu beans. At long last, it's time for the final battle. The way Zamasu sees it, Gohan is using an undeserved power granted to him by the gods. So Gohan is ready to prove just how worthy he really is. With a clean head to the stomach, Zamasu's body begins to twist and deform, and the immortal body of Zamasu being at complete odds with each other. Gohan and Goku fire their father-son Kamehameha at merged Zamasu. This slows down Zamasu, and while he tries to recover, Goku tells Gohan that he's out of energy, but to save the senzu bean, this is now up to the next generation. It's Gohan and Trunks' fight to finish. Trunks refuses to stay behind, and together, the two half-Saiyans rush back into action. The corrupted Zamasu promises to crush them all, but with courage in their hearts and an unbreakable willpower of light, the pair push Zamasu to the brink. But it's not enough just yet. How will they escape next? To the past? To the future? When will they accept his justice? But Gohan reaffirms that justice isn't the only power out there. His true power comes from his friends and family. Compared to the gods, they may be weak, but they're not ashamed of that. Gohan saved Trunks once before, and it inspired him to do the same for everyone else. That trust we place on each other as human beings is where our real strength lies. Zamasu tries to attack one more time, but the team fire a dual Masenko at the god, their bond transcending time and space. Goku and Vegeta encourage their sons, the blast overwhelming Zamasu. This gives Goku the chance to throw the Mafuba jar at Trunks, while Gohan concentrates and fires the containment wave. Zamasu is helpless against the pull of the technique. How was this possible? How could a mortal defeat a god? His voice drowned out as the jar was sealed and the world finally saved. Gohan and the others, though hurt, take a second to celebrate. Trunks' timeline is really safe. Vegeta and Goku tell Trunks that he's more than welcome to stay in the present, but the future warrior chooses to stay behind, knowing that it's his responsibility to help rebuild. And more than anyone, Gohan understands that, relaying the words his own master said to him.
I believe that you can do anything, Trunks.
And so, with that improved ending, the team returned to the present. Waving goodbye to Trunks, Gohan goes back to his wife and daughter. After so many battles, he can finally rest for a little bit. He wouldn't have been able to do it alone, but he knows that he can count on his friends and family to support him, and that it's thanks to them that he's grown into the husband, father, scholar, and warrior that he is now. And with that sentiment, Gohan sets his sights on protecting the future of his world. This epic story ends here, but with a much more confident and powerful Gohan. I'm sure he'd be a bit more effective in the Tournament of Power because of this, though I wonder if they would still want Frieza since Goku never got to see his power. Either way, Gohan could unlock Beast State earlier here too, perhaps stepping in to protect his father after Ultra Instinct runs out the first time. The sheer power of that kick against Jiren could knock multiple opponents out of bounds. It would be like in the manga, Kefla versus Gohan, but Gohan Beast. Him and his father teaming up in the final battle against the mortal who surpassed the gods, barely able to tap into Super Saiyan after their new power fails them. This is a Gohan who's taken his role as protector of Earth much more seriously, which is something I know a lot of fans love. Though I do wonder if this gets in the way of his work-life balance. Or maybe he just takes his work into the time chamber to get things done faster. You know how many videos I could get done in there? This is probably the single longest what if in the game, and it's a lot of fun. It's great to see an actual what-if character in Gohan Black, which is kinda rare to see nowadays. You'd think that Xenoverse would give us more things like this. It's a real power fantasy for Gohan fans, and if the game had been released with Beast Gohan, I'm sure he would have been included in this story too. Maybe Beast Rose or something. Gohan passing on Piccolo's teachings to Trunks is just chef's kiss. Though it is weird that they skip over Universe 6 every time. But anyways, we have one more Gohan What If to explore. Gohan had been training little by little after Resurrection F, and so his father visits him to ask him to join the Tournament of Power as team captain. In order to prepare, Gohan trains with Piccolo even more, and his master uses the multiform technique. So the Tournament of Power begins. We find Gohan and Piccolo fighting back-to-back against the Universe 6 Namekians. He doesn't trust Frieza as a teammate, even having a small battle against him, so he sticks around with Piccolo. But as the tournament progresses, Goku obtains Ultra Instinct, Piccolo is eliminated, and the Universe 7 team unites forces against Anilaza. The last few teams remaining are 11 and 7. Although reluctant, Gohan helps his old enemy out, as Frieza struggled in battle against Dispo. Now they're forced to fight together as a team. Dispo is cocky though, and claims that he'll just knock them out of bounds. But in this what if, we're just fast enough to beat him. Gohan falls to his knees in exhaustion, while Frieza joins Android 17 in battle against Toppo. Pushed against the edge, Toppo lets go of all of his ideals and embraces the power of the God of Destruction. With a bit of stamina recovered, Gohan watches as 17 and Frieza are blasted away by Toppo. The God of Destruction to be claims that there is no such thing as justice, just being and absence of being. Vegeta faces him next, but Toppo claims that the prince's cause is trivial. As a destroyer, he chooses what will and will not exist. Vegeta is insulted. He fights for his family, for the oath he made Kakarot, for the Saiyan bride, for all he's built and all he is. He won't give up on what he believes in. Unlike Toppo, inspired by Vegeta's resolve, Gohan jumps in, butting into a personal moment. But I guess Vegeta needed the help. It's actually really cool that this what if is kind of focused on Vegeta and Gohan. Nowadays it's a rare pairing, but through the series it's pretty obvious that Vegeta respects Gohan. They push the blast back and get ready to continue the battle. Toppo uses his destruction energy against the duo, but they're not gonna give up. While Gohan takes care of Toppo, Vegeta gathers energy within himself for one final battle. But Gohan interrupts them. He won't let Vegeta sacrifice himself. If they win, they'll win together. With their combined efforts, Vegeta and Gohan push Toppo out of the arena, just as the Grand Priest calls for a game over. The time has run out, and with the most warriors still active, Universe 7 wins. Damn, I bet Goku felt cheated out of that exciting fight. Gohan can't believe it, but Vegeta asks why he's so surprised. It was his promise to win together. He encourages Gohan to stand proud before they leaving behind. Gohan wishes for all the universes lost to be restored to life, but the real reward for the Half Saiyan is to return to his loving wife and daughter. The universe saved once again thanks to Gohan's efforts. Since Gohan contributed so much to the tournament and was inspired by Vegeta's speech, I could see him keeping up with training a lot more and performing way better against the Gammas. But nothing else really changes here. And so, with Gohan as the winner of the Tournament of Power and saving the multiverse, his what-ifs come to an end. But I wanna know what your favorite one was. There is a lot to like about Gohan's what-ifs here, though a lot of them just boil down to Gohan getting slightly more upset. Time for Future Trunks. Get it? Time. Anyways, we've done Gohan, Vegeta, Goku, and Frieza. So now let's go back to the one who killed Frieza and cover every single Future Trunks what if in Sparking Zero. Unlike the others, which go from arc to arc, Future Trunks' really stems from just one specific point, defeating Zamasu. So everything depends on that. Let's begin. We start Future Trunks' first what-if story in the middle of the fight between Black and Trunks. The god accuses Trunks of being a sinner for having saved Goku in the past, and splitting the timeline, that the time machine fuels his mortal arrogance. I usually play these games in Japanese, but I gotta say, there's some fantastic performances here, especially by James Marsters. What a great pick for Zamasu.
You helped to launch Project Zero Mortal.
Future Trunks fights with his whole soul and heart, arguing that all he ever wanted to do was save his fellow humans from monsters like Black and Zamasu. If that's the sin, then it's a sin worth fighting for. It's funny, since the regular Future Trunks from Super has his ultimate as the Sword of Hope, they just replace it with Z Trunks' ultimate instead. I wish you could actually play as this version normally, or at least let you pick the ultimate. Trunks struggles to allow Goku and Vegeta to escape back to the past, but in this reality, Trunks comes along with them too. So when Piccolo suggests the Mafuba, he teaches it to Trunks directly, instead of him having to learn it from a YouTube tutorial. The plan is sure to work on an immortal being, and when they go back to the future, Trunks keeps his eyes peeled for an opening. Thankfully, Zamasu's immortality has made him reckless during fights, making it much easier for the future warrior. Zamasu keeps on taking damage, but recovering from every blow. Still, he may be immortal, but he's not invincible. Finding the right timing, Trunks fires the Mafuba at Zamasu. Finally, he can show the god what the true power of humanity is, locking away the monster in a Mafuba jar and ending it. For now. But another Zamasu remains, and although Goku and Vegeta are keeping him preoccupied, it's not gonna last forever. Trunks quickly rushes back to help out, rushing in with a microaggression. Black! Black can't believe that Trunks survived his battle against Zamasu, and is even more surprised to hear that Zamasu was defeated. Goku and Vegeta stand alongside Trunks to encourage him. Clearly, they not only have a hope of winning now, but have completely demoralized Black's plans and ideals. Still, Black tries to convince Trunks and the others to accept defeat, but Trunks won't give up, channeling all the hopes and sorrows of those Black killed into his being, to push Black into the brink, as Goku Black himself allows his hatred for mortals to consume him, becoming visibly disheveled. Trunks fires a Gallic gun, Black fires his twisted Kamehameha, but while the future warrior struggles, his father joins him with his own Gallic gun. Vegeta reminds his son about everything Black has taken from him, the destruction of his world, and above all, the death of his mother, bringing that rage out of him as the final push to defeat Black. The god can't believe that his wrath was not enough, as the blast consumes him, and he is forced to admit that Trunks really has surpassed the god. Trunks gives Gowazu the jar containing Zamasu. Hopefully he doesn't, accidentally knock it over or something. But at long last, peace has returned to the future timeline, but at such a high cost. Trunks knows that he needs to continue getting stronger, finding new challenges, so he doesn't have to rely on Goku and Vegeta anymore. And with that, our first what if comes to an end. But we kinda move directly from this to the next one. But first, what would happen afterwards? Well, the future timeline is safe, and no destruction was needed, meaning that future Trunks can help rebuild everything with the help of Mai, whom I don't think is actually ever mentioned once in the entire game outside of Kid Mai. Maybe he could then get the Dragon Radar from the past, and with Goku's help, locate New Namek, asking their help to restore things to the way it was before Zamasu attacked. I do wonder if Bulma would want to return though. At this point she's been through so much, and she finally gets to be with her friends. Well, except for Vegeta. Future Vegeta is definitely in hell. Trunks will have to train to ensure peace remains. But I guess there's no real threats that we know of which could come after him. Broly is probably off burying Paragus, and the Red Ribbon Army is gone. At max, maybe Tagoma and Sorbet come to Earth trying to find the Dragon Balls, only to be disappointed. This also means that we don't get a second Zeno in the present timeline, so the normal Zeno is probably gonna keep on annoying Goku. Alright, this doesn't exactly come right after the last what if. This comes after the regular ending of the Goku Black arc, where Zeno destroys the universe. So Trunks returns to the past along with the rest, but now that Whis has offered him a chance to return to a point before Zamasu destroyed his world, will he stay in the past for longer, or return to make his world a better place? Bulma is sad that he has to leave so soon, and while Vegeta tries to tell her not to get sentimental, she makes a good argument. Won't Vegeta want to train with him a little more? Trunks thinks about it. If he stays, he can become stronger than ever, more capable of protecting his world. So we get the choice. Do we stay in the past, or do we return to the future? Well, seeing how one option is boring, let's stay a little bit longer and train. I'm in no hurry to meet that second Trunks just yet, thank you very much. So future Trunks asks his father to train one last time, so he can ensure the safety of his world. Bulma is ecstatic about this, or at least as ecstatic as her character model will allow her. It's actually really sweet. and Bulma says that no matter the timeline, this is his home. I like to think that she was talking to me too. So Trunks and Vegeta train over the next few days. But one of these days, their training is interrupted when Piccolo requests that Gohan joins them so he too can prepare for the battles ahead. So we first fight Vegeta to really prove how far our training has taken us. All the while Vegeta taunts us to encourage that dormant willpower of light to come out with full force. Then Piccolo switches out. It's a cool and rare character moment here, to hear Trunks talk proudly about how Gohan was his martial arts master, even if Piccolo can't picture it.
This'll be a good chance to hone any demon-style techniques he taught you. Allow me to show you how to fight like a demon.
Finally, Gohan jumps into action to see what his old friend has been up to and how much stronger he really is. Sadly, he's been working and studying a little too much, but Trunks encourages Gohan to go all out. However, this what-if can divert depending on how we perform. If we don't do well enough against our friends, or beat them fast enough, then Trunks ends up satisfied with the training he received, and with that, he returns to the future. All of his friends come to wave him goodbye, even Android 18, and he promises to see them again one day. But he doesn't necessarily get close to anyone in this one. But if Trunks does a little better, then a new what-if path forward is unlocked for us. If we manage to prove ourselves against Vegeta, Piccolo, and Gohan, then not only do we make Gohan realize how far behind he is, but Vegeta is prouder than ever. Gohan is a little disappointed in himself, but Trunks encourages him. That latent potential is still hidden beneath, waiting to come out. Despite that, Gohan thinks Trunks would have still won. In a nice little moment, Gohan speaks almost as if he really was Trunks' master from long ago, telling him how proud he is to call him his friend. This is our hint that these what-ifs are gonna be a little different than usual, a little more personal. Trunks is more determined than ever to protect the world his master died for. But this moment also makes Trunks feel as if he needs to stay for longer and train even more to truly be ready and ensure that no one will ever feel the pain he felt when he lost Gohan. Since he's staying in the past for longer, he's there for when Bulma reveals that she's pregnant again with Trunks' little sister, Bra. Or Bola, I guess. Vegeta takes a responsible route of taking care of his wife, even stepping back from training for a little while. This truly moves Trunks. His father had come a long way from the man who ignored the mother of his child as she was attacked by the androids. But the Tournament of Power is just around the corner, and they'll need their best members if they hope to win. Still, because of Bulma's pregnancy, Vegeta and Trunks decline the offer. But this is Dragon Ball, and we can't have characters not fighting. So Whis uses his angelic powers to pop that baby right out of her, welcoming another Saiyan to the world. It's really cool to see Trunks holding Bola, showing him that this world was really worth protecting. The sacrifices made along the way allowed for life to flourish. It's kinda sad that we didn't get something like this in the real show. I would love to see future Trunks interacting more with his sister. Hell, he hardly even said a word to Goten, even if small. It's moments like this that make the what-if special. And while he holds her, he overhears Yamcha whining about not being included. He has the gall to complain about Krillin already being asked. Krillin isn't the issue here. You should be more upset that they asked Roshi over you. Yamcha really wants to enter, so he can claim the wish on the Super Dragon Balls. But this piques Trunks' interest. Gohan is surprised that he doesn't know. I'm kinda surprised too. It was the whole epicenter of Black and Zambuzu's plan, and no one bothered to tell him? Gohan explains just how powerful the Super Dragon Balls are. So Trunks wonders to himself if this could mean bringing back future Gohan, Vegeta, and all the other friends and family he lost along the way. Vegeta can see the determination in Trunks' eyes, and together, they enter the time chamber just like old times. Since weapons are forbidden, Trunks instead focuses on polishing his hand-to-hand combat. This is pretty cool, because the developers had to actually make DBS Trunks without a sword, which sadly we can't play as normally. But Krillin finds out from Goku that the losing teams will be erased along with their universe. This encourages Trunks to try his hardest so he can protect his family, and especially his new baby sister. Gohan is called upon as the leader, but as soon as the battle starts, Vegeta and Goku throw all caution to the wind and rush in without a care, looking for strong foes. Here we get another choice. Will Trunks follow his father, Vegeta, or his mentor, Gohan? The simpler option is Vegeta, so let's choose that first. Trunks tells Gohan that he can't just leave his father on his own, and Gohan understands. Trunks rushes by his father's side as the Universe 6 Saiyans close in on him, but he's intercepted by Kaba. Just because he's his master's son, it doesn't mean he'll go easy on him. He needs to win for Universe 6, but in reality, everyone there is fighting for the same cause: survival of their universe. It's an intense battle, straight out of one of the what-ifs I would have done. It's kind of an obvious thing to do, but people always loved it. Having Trunks and Kaba fight is such a good and easy layup. Vegeta's son versus Vegeta's student. It just writes itself. As a Super Saiyan, Trunks overwhelms Kaba and forces him to transform as well. And after defeating Kaba, Trunks can't help but admit that he really is a true Saiyan, while Kaba thanks him for a great battle. But it's a bittersweet victory. He knows that with every opponent he takes down, it's one step closer to the entire annihilation of a universe. He thinks of the friends and family he's fighting for, but questions the morality of all of this. It really puts into perspective just how dark the Tournament of Power really is. But as he thinks this, a huge explosion of ki draws his attention. Kale had awakened her berserker rage. Vegeta tries to get in the way and reprimands his son, but there's no time for that. As Kale attacks, she mindlessly continues to ask for Goku over and over again, but Vegeta isn't impressed. A mindless buff power-up like that is not gonna be enough. A similar lesson to what Trunks had to learn when he used Grade 3 against Cell. Thus, Trunks and Vegeta fight Kale, but halfway through, Caulifla joins the fray. The two Saiyans battle the father and son duo, really impressing Vegeta. Even in Universe 6, Saiyans are still Saiyans, and Trunks can't believe how, despite everything that's at stake, the one thing Saiyans yearn for is battle above all.
You Universe 7 Saiyans are strong, alright. Gotta hand it to you.
You're not so bad yourselves. No match for us, but still true Saiyans all the same.
Caulifla encourages Kale to work together and win, finally calming her down and unlocking an even greater power. This only makes the Universe 7 Saiyans more excited, as Vegeta declares that they'll show them what real Saiyan power is. Fighting once more, but finally defeating the Universe 6 Saiyans and not giving them a chance to fuse. Vegeta turns to the stands and tells them that once the tournament is over, they better train and get stronger so they can have that rematch. Kaba's confused. Their universe is going to be erased, but Vegeta knows what he's doing. He's going to win, and he's going to wish them back using the Super Dragon Balls. Vegeta asks Trunks what he thinks, and if they're gonna have to fight over who gets the wish. But Trunks knows it's not necessary. He's already made up his mind. Even if he wants to bring back his loved ones, he can't sacrifice entire universes for them. Together, the father and son duo return to the battlefield, while the Pride Troopers, Toppo and Jiren, approach the survivors. Trunks, Vegeta, Goku, Gohan, and 17 are the last few warriors remaining. Through the battles, Goku unlocks Ultra Instinct, while Vegeta battles Toppo. Vegeta is driven by a desire to reach Kakarot and win the tournament, trying to make Ultra Instinct his own, avoiding Toppo's attacks as much as he can, so he can keep his promise to Kaba. But it's no use. Toppo pushes Vegeta back as Trunks steps up. Toppo tells him how useless this pursuit of godly power is. Even gods of destruction have trouble with Ultra Instinct, so there's no way Vegeta or Trunks could, saying that if he too made a promise, then he doesn't need to hear it. This infuriates Trunks. They're not fighting for some selfish desire. They're fighting for others, for their friends, their family, the dreams of those who have fallen, the hopes of those who will follow. It's because Vegeta now fights for them that he's as strong as he is. Toppo doesn't care. He gave up on his own ideals of justice to achieve the power of a god, to survive. There's no way Trunks could overcome what he's given up, and he won't give up on his ideals to achieve it. Trunks faced the god before, and he proved the will of mortals. It's time he does it again. It's kinda sad that he doesn't mention Kid Trunks here. I get he's you, but he might as well also just be your younger brother. As Trunks declares his victory, Vegeta looks proudly upon him. He hadn't been taken out just yet, and together, Super Saiyan Trunks and Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta rush in at full force. Vegeta fires a Gala gun, which Toppo Hakkai's out of the way, only for Trunks to appear behind him and slam his face, grab his leg, and throw him up to the sky for a heat dome attack.
It's over!
Thanks to his father's help, Toppo is knocked out of the arena. All the while, Goku and Gohan drag Jiren out of it. It's kind of a shame that we don't get to see that. I would have loved to play a what if where Gohan and Goku were the last ones standing. That was a popular theory when the Tournament of Power was still going on. Together, Vegeta and Trunks stand before Super Shenron, with Trunks wishing for the erased universes to be brought back. Despite not getting the wish he wanted, Trunks grew into a stronger and better fighter than before, having saved multiple universes. He is now ready to return to the future, shaking hands with Gohan. Though Goku and Bulma encourage him to return once the Super Dragon Balls are reactivated, so he can revive everyone. But Trunks doesn't want to anger Zeno, or get them all killed. Either way, it's up to him to protect his timeline now. He shouldn't rely on others. Vegeta scoffs, and Bulma tells her son not to mind him. She just knows that Vegeta is proud, but that it's thanks to his son that they're all safe now. With that, Trunks bids everyone farewell, but knows that they'll meet again one day. And just like in the Cell arc, Vegeta shoots Trunks a peace sign. For luck, not that he'll need it, as his universe is in good hands. Since he's going back to an earlier point in time, before Zamasu attacked, he's gonna have to deal with him again. But now he's seen the power of the Super Saiyan gods and Ultra Instinct, so maybe he's shooting for something more. I mean, at least in the manga continuity, he's already been trained by the Kais. Maybe he'll have an easier time reaching the realm of the gods. This story may be over, but there is another path Trunks could have taken. The path of his old master. Let's pick right back up from when Vegeta rushes out and Trunks has to choose. Only this time, Trunks decides to stick with the plan and his friends. The Z fighters stand side by side, covering each other from anything that comes their way. But just like before, while Goku and Caulifla fight, Kale explodes in rage upon realizing that she's after his father. Gohan and Trunks jump in the way, unlike the Vegeta option, where Caulifla steps in to help Kale, and they fight together. Our fight is instead interrupted by none other than Jiren the Grey, who fires a blast that sends her flying out of the arena. The attack is so great that multiple warriors are sent flying away, including Gohan and Trunks. Now they're separated, and Trunks is left alone to fight against Toppo and Dispo. Their strong sense of justice and love for their universe makes Trunks question if his wish is selfish. But as the battle begins, an unexpected set of saviors appear. Androids 17 and 18 stand before the future warrior, once bitter enemies, now fighting side by side. While making this, I completely forgot this happened and was happily surprised. I was worried that they weren't going to lean into this obvious dynamic. Great stuff. 17 and 18 call him out for being paralyzed by his trauma, but they promise that they're not the same people he once feared and fought against, unless he wants them to leave and battle alone. But Trunks shakes himself off and continues the battle, grateful for their help. During the battle, Universe 10 is eliminated.
The last of Universe 10's competitors have been eliminated. And as the rules have stated, Universe 10 will now be obliterated.
God, this is no joke.
And the heroes mourn multiple billions of lives lost. And as Dispo is about to be taken out, he manages to get a hold of 18 and drags her out of the arena. From the stands, 18 wishes Trunks and 17 luck. 17 tells Trunks that he's going to battle other people now. After all, Trunks seems to have gotten over whatever was bothering him. It's cool that the twins give him some tough love. Fun fact, age 780, when the Tournament of Power takes place, is the same year Gohan dies in the future timeline, making this what if and the parallel a little bit more special. Time is running out, and Jiren remains as the Great Wall standing in the way. One by one, teammates begin to fall. 17 is out for the count, all the while Goku's Ultra Instinct pushes Jiren past his limits, though ultimately this new power-up fails Goku. The technique took too much of a toll on him, and now Jiren sets his sights on Trunks, firing a blast. But at the last second, mirroring his own master sacrifice, Gohan spreads out his arms before Trunks to shield him from the attack. Trunks falls to his knees. He was there to repay and honor his master, not get saved by him again. He's distracted. He isn't performing as well as he should. Even in a different timeline, he finds himself relying on Gohan for everything. He realizes that his selfishness to save his world has been holding him back, but not anymore. This time, he will take destiny into his own hands, because his real enemy, the one standing in his way, is himself. This version of the story does feel like Trunks working through more personal issues, while the Vegeta one is more about uplifting him after a tragic battle. But just as Trunks stands up, Jiren is about to hit him out of the arena, but once again, Android 17 jumps in to help, barrier up, and ready for impact. He complains that he got woken up because he hadn't actually been defeated. Their only chance at winning is working together and fighting him head-on. Android 17 pushes Trunks to lead and to be as reckless as he needs to be. Jiren thinks that it's ridiculous to believe that power driven by teamwork could ever stand up to his raw strength and justice. But 17 argues that power is power, nothing to do with justice. Trunks agrees. He's met countless of people who use their power for their own selfish gains. And if power is justice, then that's no justice worth fighting for. Jiren has an introspective moment here, where the heroes realize that he wants to use the Dragon Balls to go back to the way things were before.
My desires are not selfish, because I have worked to attain the strength needed to take everything back I could ever want with my bare hands!
That's the only reason he's ever wanted to obtain power. But just as things seem most hopeless, as he usually does, Goku appears out of nowhere. Everyone is surprised that he can even stand up after all he's been through. It's really interesting to use Jiren as a parallel to Trunks here, a man driven by his desire to return his life to how it once was, unable to move forward or even understand his own strength, because all he's ever wanted it for was for the sake of looking back, not forward. But now Trunks sees that he doesn't just need to surpass Jiren, but surpass himself, the man he was a minute ago. And in the end, surpassing ourselves over and over again, isn't that the ultimate lesson Goku and Dragon Ball in general tries to teach us? Trunks punches Jiren away, and 17 intercepts it, activating his self-destruction and bouncing Jiren off of the arena. Universe 7 has won, but at what cost? Trunks once again falls to his knees, tears streaming down his face. Over and over again, Trunks keeps on losing people he's come to rely on. It's very melodramatic, in a good way. Dragon Ball nowadays doesn't usually get like this, and especially not in video games. But the Grand Priest announces that the Tournament of Power has ended with 3 Universe 7 competitors remaining, because Android 17 is alive. Turns out he got out of the way of the explosion at the last second, however that works. Trunks is speechless, so 17 pokes fun at him. So happy he could cry, huh? The 3 remaining warriors agree to restore the other universes, so that they and Earth can return to their peaceful lives. A few days after the Tournament of Power, Trunks gets ready to depart. 18, Krillin, and Gohan tell Trunks how proud they are of him, though 18 wishes that 17 was around to see him off. But right before he leaves, Trunks looks up to see none other than 17 watching on proudly and waving him off. It really is incredible how different of a timeline this turned out to be. And so, Trunks returns to the future. I know I said that Vegeta's what-ifs were my favorites in that video, but man, this last Trunks one was great. It makes you think that it's just gonna be about Gohan and Trunks, which would have been great admittedly, and instead ends up getting weirdly introspective and personal. It's pretty cool. With Trunks back in his timeline, he's gonna have to live with the other Trunks. At least that means a training partner. But this time, he'll be ready for Zamasu, or any other threat that will come his way. Because a lot of people forget about this, but Whis didn't just send Trunks to a new timeline, but a timeline very similar to his own, just before Zamasu attacked. Then again, Whis did say that he was gonna get future Beerus to erase Zamasu, so maybe Trunks really is just gonna have smooth sailing from here. He is more ready than ever to take on any challenges ahead, and now that he's seen the power of the Super Saiyan God and even Ultra Instinct, I could see Trunks aiming even higher to try and obtain that power. This Trunks has truly become his own man, and will build a better future. Perhaps, knowing that 17 and 18 turned out to be good people, he could search for what's left of Jiro's lab and recover Android 16. After all, he was part of the reason they ended up the way they did. But times of peace means it's only a matter of time before a new threat shows itself. And that was every single future Trunks What If in Sparking Zero. Surprisingly, these are more robust than some of the other ones. There's less, less filler. Future Trunks is an interesting and tragic character, so you can do quite a lot with him. I'm glad I ended up revisiting this, because I liked it a lot more than I remembered. It's not so easy being green, and no one knows that better than Piccolo. The Namekian warrior had many adventures through Dragon Ball, but this time we're looking at alternate stories where he takes center role in Sparking Zero. From what if Piccolo defeated Nappa to what if he defeated Cell, we've covered most other characters at this point, and he is the last hero to cover. So let's begin. We kick things off in the Saiyan arc, as the Saiyans have arrived on Earth earlier than expected, and Goku isn't revived just yet. So the Z Fighters gather together at the battlegrounds, lose members, and take down the Cybermen, all while hoping that Goku would return soon. Still, they can't just wait, and the mighty Nappa is itching for a battle. Piccolo shows that he's no slouch, likely having gotten more training in with Gohan to further evolve his abilities. The Namekian pushes Nappa to his limits, using everything he's learned over the years to defeat Goku, and using it on a different Saiyan. Close enough, I guess. Thanks to this, Piccolo actually manages to bring down Nappa, and as he lays on the floor defeated, Vegeta throws him up to the sky and blows him up. Such dirty fireworks. Vegeta is the most ruthless warrior they've ever faced, but even he has to admit, the Namekian has style. Just then, Goku finally makes it to the battlefield, interrupting Piccolo's aura farming. With 4 allies remaining, Piccolo, Goku, Krillin, and Gohan get ready to face the Prince of all Saiyans. Vegeta is cocky as he battles Piccolo, so here we have to take him down fast. If not, then we actually get a bad ending, where Piccolo is blasted away and perishes before his might. And that's it. But that's not the end of the story, because if Piccolo uses all his skills to the max, and really shows Vegeta that he shouldn't underestimate Earth, then Vegeta is knocked down to the ground and defeated. Krillin and Gohan celebrate as Goku turns to Piccolo and tells him just how impressed he is of him and Gohan, saying that it's thanks to him they won. Piccolo admits that he's glad to have gone to battle side by side with Goku again, clearly showing just how much he's changed since the 23rd World Tournament. But while discussing this, Vegeta makes his way to a spaceport and blasts off without a word. Krillin can't believe that he could still move after such a beating. He didn't even have to turn into a Nozaru this time. I guess he was too scared. But Piccolo isn't worried. If he ever returns, they'll just have to beat him again. Gohan asks to continue training with his master, and Piccolo accepts. The what if ends here, but since Piccolo is alive, that means that they can still revive everyone killed during the Saiyan attack. Piccolo, Goku, and Gohan will likely continue to train harder and harder, as slowly Piccolo throws away the idea of taking over. Or maybe, in a darker timeline, he actually does go through with the plan and turns Gohan into his little demon underling and tries to get him to turn on his father. Either way, I'm sure Vegeta would want to return to Earth, and then maybe become something similar to the Goku what if, where Vegeta escapes, but returns to Earth to try and team up with the Z Fighters, as Frieza is making his way to the Dragon Balls, and together they train to battle the monster and bring peace once more. And speaking of Frieza, the next what if takes us to Piccolo's home world, outside of the demon realm, I guess. Piccolo has just returned to life thanks to Gohan and the others using the Namekian Dragon Balls. However, he appears in the middle of nowhere. What an oversight, Dende. As he tries to make his way to where Frieza is attacking, he comes across Nail, a Namekian warrior who was defeated by Frieza, who instructs him through using the Namekian fusion technique to become stronger than ever. Excited by his new strength, Piccolo rushes to Gohan, and right as things seem most dire, Piccolo lands before his friends and Vegeta. Frieza isn't impressed by the appearance of another Namekian. He'd already made sure to exterminate most of his race, so what's one more body? Frieza fires a blast, only to see it reflected, and Piccolo's own blast consumes him. Clearly, he isn't dealing with the average Namekian any longer. Piccolo swears to avenge all the Namekians killed, but soon after the battle begins, Frieza declares that he should consider himself lucky. He's about to be killed by his third form. Frieza transforms, but Piccolo this time does much better than normal and defeats him faster in the game. Thus, the Emperor admits just how good of a show he's putting up. This is the first warrior in years to be good enough to necessitate his true form, and while he transforms, Dende heals Piccolo so he can continue the battle. No matter how terrifying the new form is, Piccolo does everything he can to buy them time as they wait for Goku, even damaging Frieza. Frieza says that he should be proud of being the last Namekian standing, but soon enough, he will join them in Otherworld. While Piccolo struggles, Goku finally arrives, and not long after, Krillin is killed. Goku awakens Super Saiyan as he turns around and asks Piccolo to take care of Gohan and leave. We do just that, though Piccolo is a little disappointed in himself, saying that he should have done better, so he could have helped against Frieza. From here, the path merges back with a regular timeline, though it's a little weird since it was Piccolo fighting Frieza instead of Vegeta. I guess that just means that Vegeta survived the dynamic encounter unlike the normal timeline, and actually got to see Super Saiyan Goku. In the anime, he does see the transformation right after he's revived, but in the manga, he never sees it until Super Saiyan Trunks. It's a small change, but worth mentioning. Since Piccolo felt shame about not being strong enough to fight alongside Goku, I believe that he would train harder than in the original story, being even more prepared for when the androids arrive. Hell, maybe he actually tries to fight Mecha Frieza until Trunks shows up. Anyways, we move on to the androids, and on to Trunks' arrival. After being warned that the androids would show up in 3 years' time, Goku, Gohan, and Piccolo train together in preparation, unsure of what kind of monster will show up. When androids 19 and 20 appear, Piccolo comments on how they're not exactly what he imagined. Don't worry, Piccolo, Toriyama's first editor felt the same way and pushed them out of the story. Just wait a few chapters. Gohan and Piccolo notice that something is off with Goku as he takes on number 19, saying that he's slowing down and he's fighting much more sloppily than normal. Here, we actually get to choose. Do we simply observe the battle as Goku has a heart attack, or do we step in to save our old enemy? Well, it wouldn't be much of a what if we just stayed back, so this time we will do something about it. Piccolo jumps into action, pushing Goku out of the way and telling him that it's up to him now. Up close, it's obvious that Goku is in trouble as he clenches his heart. Just like me writing this off of 3 energy drinks. He's just like me for real. Piccolo is extremely confident in his 3 years of training. Regardless of the android's technology, he beats down the fat android until Vegeta lands and declares that he will take care of the toys. We don't see Vegeta beat him, but I guess he just stole our kill off screen. Because we interrupted the fight, Goku is actually in a better condition than normal. He didn't have to fight for longer, so he heads to Kame House while Yamcha gets the heart medicine. Meanwhile, Piccolo and the others chase after Dr. Gero, but through it, he sneaks up on Piccolo and drains his energy. The Namekian gets Gohan's attention telepathically and is saved, only for him to escape and free the other androids. 17 kills Gero and releases 16. Now the androids and our heroes stand before each other, ready to fight. 18 and Vegeta are about to battle, but Piccolo steps in and claims that though they are strong, he can take them on. Quite a statement from a guy who was just getting bullied around by Gero, but you know. 17 agrees to fight him, but in the actual battle, we're fighting 18 instead. A little weird. The two clash, and it's obvious that the androids have one advantage: they don't get tired. Even if Piccolo does well against them, he's not gonna last forever. As the fight progresses, Gohan jumps in to help his master and kicks 17 across the face. They survive this battle thanks to their training, but Piccolo knows that it won't be enough. As the androids leave them, Piccolo travels to Kami's lookout once again to become one with his other half, and the nameless Namekian is reborn. On the surface, Cell begins to attack the towns, but Piccolo chooses not to interfere just yet. Instead, he realizes just how much and how fast Gohan is growing, and believes that together, they can stop this threat. He heads to Kame House to check in on Goku, where the virus continues to spread, and Goku can't take the medicine until it's completely infected him. Goku knows that he's useless the way he is now, and that they need more training. Because of this, he entrusts the training of Gohan in the time chamber to us, telling him that he knows he can draw out Gohan's latent potential. Piccolo agrees, knowing that together they'll get even stronger. However, Vegeta insists that he and Trunks go in first, and while at Kame House, the androids appear to kill Goku. Just like the original timeline, Piccolo leads them to a remote island, this time accompanied by Gohan. During the fight, Cell appears to absorb the twins, taking his chance to absorb 17, and Piccolo is forced to fight him. Cell is unbelievably strong, but Piccolo can still stick up to him, surprisingly. For a while, at least. Suddenly, Piccolo senses an incoming key. It's Goku. He hasn't recovered from the heart virus just yet, but he knew he had to help his friends. The stress only causes the heart virus to kick in even more, and he passes out from the exhaustion, telling Piccolo to please take care of Gohan. The heroes retreat, while Cell goes to fight 18, and Piccolo takes Gohan into the time chamber. Piccolo tells his students that he will focus on pushing Gohan into Super Saiyan and perhaps even further beyond. But first, they will need to take care of Gohan's weaker fighting aspects. So we get to choose. Do we train Gohan's body or his mind? The difference here comes later down the line, with just how much Gohan will lose it against Cell. Still, it's just a small change. In this case, Piccolo will focus on Gohan's mind. Piccolo explains to Gohan that his power is even greater than Goku's, but in order to properly use it, he first has to control his emotions. Piccolo will push his limits as far as he can, all while Gohan tries to keep himself grounded, yet angry. Piccolo understands that Gohan doesn't care for fighting, but pacifism isn't going to save the world this time, and so their time chamber training begins anew. Gohan thinks back to the battles against Frieza and the Saiyans, all while feeling the rage and keeping his cool. Piccolo is so proud of Gohan. Despite their extreme difference in power, he can still fight well against him. It's difficult for Gohan, but he continues to work on it, remembering the feeling. After 1 year in the time chamber, the two walk out wearing the same uniform, and Gohan has a brand new Super Saiyan. I wonder if they still discovered Grade 4. Goku's still recovering, so Piccolo takes the next 10 days of peace to hone Gohan's skills further. The two go out in the wilderness just like old times and meditate. The progress Gohan is making inspires Piccolo to keep growing, until finally, the Cell games begin. The first warrior up to bat is Piccolo himself. Despite knowing how strong Cell is, he doesn't want Gohan to fight if he doesn't have to. Gohan isn't sure about this, but Goku tells him that Piccolo must have a plan. Also, notice that Goku is in base here. Since he didn't have the time in the time chamber, he never ended up achieving Mastered Super Saiyan. The fight between the two brothers commences. All of Piccolo's training has led up to this, and he performs really well, but it's still not enough. Despite all he's been through, Cell is still far stronger, knocking him to the ground, stepping on him, and getting ready to kill him, all while Gohan watches in disbelief. He feels his slipping. He can't watch anymore. He has to stop Cell, and he finally snaps. Goku was right after all. Gohan was hiding power. Still, Piccolo doesn't want to force Gohan to fight, jumping in to protect his student. But Gohan's power is too interesting for Cell to ignore, slapping Piccolo away. Angered, Gohan fires a Kamehameha at Cell, which severely injures him. Cell falls to his knees, trying to recover from the attack. Goku yells at his son to finish off the android once and for all, but Gohan laughs. No, he doesn't deserve such an easy death. He should feel the same pain his victims did. Since we chose the pro-mental health path, a single shout of his name from Piccolo calms him down. If we would have chosen the gym bro path, then Piccolo tells Gohan that he's fine, but the boy insists that Cell has to pay for everything. Piccolo tells him to remember his training and why he's fighting, for his friends, for his family, and with that, Gohan finally calms down. The dialogue is just a little different between the two, specifically with Gohan being more assertive against Cell once he comes down in the mind path. Either way, Gohan lowers his guard, saying that he was blinded by rage, but the training brought him back to his senses, telling Cell to give up. This only angers the perfect android, who attacks once more, but gets the android 18 knocked out of him. Just like in the normal story, Cell tries to blow himself up, but Goku teleports him off to King Kai's planet. Despite this, Cell returns more powerful than ever and takes down both Trunks and Vegeta, with Gohan getting his arm broken while protecting Vegeta. Cell says that it's his turn to torture Gohan now, but Piccolo jumps in the way again. Cell is just getting annoyed at this point, telling Piccolo once again that he's done with them, but Piccolo stands firm. This is his battle, trying to buy more time for Gohan. Cell laughs as they fight. He could buy Gohan like a few seconds maybe, but Piccolo is at his limit. He tries his best to keep Gohan safe, and when he sees an opening, Piccolo fires a special beam cannon at Cell, but it barely slows down the perfect beam. Still, this was exactly what Gohan needed as he fires his most powerful Kamehameha. Cell responds with his own, realizing that Gohan and Cell are equally matched. Piccolo blasts Cell directly in the face. Goku and Piccolo, Gohan's heart and soul, yell at him to do it now. The two attacks clash, but with one more word of encouragement from Piccolo, the young Saiyan overwhelms Cell and finishes him off once and for all.
Now, Gohan! This can't be! I am...
Unless Dr. Gero's grandson tries to rebuild him as a giant red monster, of course. With Cell's defeat, Piccolo flies down to make sure that Gohan is okay. The boy blames himself for his father's death, but Piccolo reassures him that even if Goku was the one to fight, the results would have been the same. Like father, like son. Piccolo tells Gohan that it's thanks to him that he's alive, and that he should be proud of the man he's grown to be. His kindness is his greatest strength. With that, Gohan asks Piccolo to help him become as strong as him and his father, and Piccolo smiles at him. With Cell's defeat, 7 years of peace await. I think that things will likely go as normal for the Buu saga, up until Gohan has to face Deborah. Thanks to him wanting to train more with Piccolo, both of them will become stronger, and I can see Gohan keeping up with his training more, though because of Vegeta, Buu would still be revived. And when that happens, Gohan will put up more of a fight. I don't think that he'd be able to win right away, But at the very least, when it's time for Ultimate Gohan to fight Super Buu, I think he'd be a little more aware as to not get too cocky and actually get the victory and protect his friends. Maybe we could even end it with a double attack from Piccolo and Gohan, going on to train and study even more in the future. This would mean that Goku isn't revived, and it would end up being up to Vegeta, Piccolo and Gohan to protect the world from here on out. So maybe Piccolo gets orange early because of this. Sure, Super Saiyan God seems impossible to get for Beerus, but maybe with the help of the Namekian Dragon Balls, Orange Piccolo could show Beerus a real challenge. Piccolo has fused with Kami and confronted Cell, but the bio-android escapes. Soon after, Piccolo finds himself facing 17 in order to protect the recovering Goku, taking the androids to a remote island. 17 is surprised to see just how much stronger Piccolo got in such a short amount of time. His Hell Zone grenade nearly takes him out. If it wasn't for his android barrier, the fight escalates, but through it, Cell jumps in to try to absorb 17. Piccolo was so focused that he didn't even realize he was nearby. The Namekian tries to keep him busy so he can't overtake 17, but this time it actually works. Piccolo beats down Cell as fast as he can and ultimately kills the android, only to continue his fight against 17 right away, as if he wasn't nearly devoured. I guess he just never found out what the hell that was about? Probably really weird from his point of view. Piccolo is still happy to oblige and wins his battle against the android. Punch after punch, blast after blast. 17 falls. 18 can't believe her eyes. Her brother was actually defeated, but Piccolo doesn't want to kill them. Instead, he warns them. If any of them come anywhere close to Goku again, he will defeat them. It's really cool to see Piccolo so adamantly defending Goku. Maybe it's that Kami within him. 17 was annoyed by Cell interrupting and leaves with the other androids, saying that they'll continue hunting Goku some other day. Goku and Gohan appear behind Piccolo and tell him just how amazing he is. It's a good thing the androids decided to not look back, otherwise they would have killed Goku right there. I'm sure that Goku will still want to enter the time chamber with Gohan, getting Super Saiyan Grade 4 and everything. Though without Cell to push him, I think Gohan's Super Saiyan 2 will have to be unlocked properly during the 7 years of peace. Somewhere along the way, 16 and the others will show up at Goku's place, but he'll be ready, perhaps obtaining Super Saiyan 2 himself by that point, with Goku fighting 16, while Gohan and Piccolo fight 17 and 18. Either way, it would be a very fun fight to take them on, especially with how insistent 16 is to kill him. Still, I doubt he tried to self-destruct or anything, because of the wildlife around Mount Pautsu. 16 wouldn't stop until he's way too damaged to continue, and Goku, seeing how amazing of a warrior he was, would take 16 to Bulma for repairs, where the programming to kill Goku and the bomb would be removed, and so the Z Fighters would gain a new ally. 16 would likely live with 17, and I could see them choosing 16 over Frieza in the Tournament of Power. Since he's fully mechanical, I wonder if he would need upgrades to get stronger, rather than just being able to train his way up. During the 7 years of peace, Piccolo, Gohan, and Goku would continue to train together, adding Goten into the mix eventually, though Goku would probably be preoccupied fighting Vegeta over and over again, pushing each other more and more, so that when Majin Buu appears, they'll be ready to stop him, and there won't be a need for Majin Vegeta. Since Vegeta unlocked Super Saiyan 3 by himself through training in Daima, I could see Goku doing the same here, but with more difficulty. The biggest change from here on out, besides 16 being around, would be Piccolo keeping up with everyone more, maybe choosing to get Potential Awakening earlier, like by the time of the Tournament of Power or something. Overall, thanks to Piccolo defeating Cell, the Z Warriors are looking to have a more prosperous future. And that was every single Piccolo What If in Sparking Zero. Let me know what your favorite one was. I think the obvious choice is the one where Piccolo chooses to train Gohan mentally. I really like the interactions in that one. Piccolo has grown to be one of my favorite characters in Dragon Ball, and I know a lot of you guys like him too. I was just at San Japan in San Antonio, Texas, and I had some of you guys come up to me and tell me what your favorite character was. You know who you are. Goku Black is one of the coolest things to come out of Dragon Ball Super, so it was a pleasant surprise to see him get his own What If story mode in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. We've gone from Goku to Frieza and more in between, so now let's tackle Judgment Day itself, Goku Black. From what if Goku Black defeated Goku and Vegeta, to what if Merge Zamasu defeated Vegito, let the Zero Mortals plan begin. Before we continue, be sure to leave a like and a comment. There's a new hype system on YouTube, and those interactions are more important than ever. Thanks as always for your support. We begin with Goku Black Rose facing Vegeta in the future, claiming that all their new power is due to a blasphemous attempt at reaching the gods. Black is in his philosophy major mode, reminding everyone about the sins of mortals while also casually committing mass murder in between monologues. He realizes that the reason why the Saiyans could get so strong is because of their emotions, their anger. It's truly primal. But he has no option but to use that same primal rage against the mortals to surpass them. He continues to mock Goku and Vegeta, their Saiyan tendencies, and their thirst for battle. But he realizes that something is wrong and escapes from the battle against Goku and Vegeta, sensing his other half. As it turns out, Trunks was seconds away from sealing Zamasu away in the Mafuba, stopping the attack and saving himself. He reprimands Zamasu for nearly dooming their plan.
How did you disgrace yourself against those mortals? We were barely separated. What went wrong?
While Trunks yells at his mother to run away, Black turns his attention to Trunks, laughing at the fact that he always relies on mortals from the past, defying the natural order of things, sin after sin. Here's where the what-if starts to kick in, if we finish them off fast enough. As they battle, Vegeta comes in to protect his family.
Trunks, stop trying to do everything by yourself!
But thanks to Goku's pesky solar flare, the Saiyans get to escape once more. Black is about to go after them, but Zamasu stops him, afraid of how fast they're growing. He suggests using the Potara earrings and merging, but Black disagrees. Clearly, he's the only one capable of the two of them, because if it wasn't for him, then Zamasu would be sealed away. This is interesting, since it shows their relationship as closer to that of the manga, where Black uses Zamasu as a tool and doesn't see him as an equal at all, oftentimes berating him. But still, as long as they work together, they can move forward and get rid of these pests once and for all. They need to remember their goal, purifying the universes. Suddenly, an incredible energy bursts forward towards them, stopping their conversation. None other than the best fusion in Dragon Ball, Vegito.
Oh, what's the matter? Your divine power's not looking so wondrous now!
He shows up looking like a Saiyan version of a god's middle finger, ironically using a godly object to fuse, which just really is rubbing salt on the wound for Zamasu and Black. Look at what they have to do to reach a fraction of their power. Even fused though, they are no gods at the end of the day. Still, Vegito is extremely cocky, and he begins pushing back the gods little by little. They continue to clash, and Black continues to preach about the sins of mortals, time travel, using a holy object, and trying to reach the heavenly realm of power. The key here is ending things against Vegito Blue quickly, which is not an easy feat. So sure, Black somehow surviving against Vegito here makes no sense power-wise. But maybe he just finally cashed in all those remaining Zenkai boosts. Something like that happens in the manga. Or maybe hate itself counts as a power-up. But that's Dragon Ball Super power scaling anyways. Don't think too hard about it, or you'll get a migraine. Poof. Goku and Vegeta defuse. Black and Zamasu survived for just long enough to outrun the Potara time limit, and the Saiyans begin to get bounced around like nothing.
Pause.
Things are truly hopeless now, but Trunks continues to intervene, saving Goku and Vegeta and trying to get them to escape. But before they can even finish the thought, he's swatted out of the way by a blast, as if he was just a fly, and Trunks dies. It's weird to be rooting against our heroes, but it's really cool to be in Goku Black's shoes. The only ones left are Goku and Vegeta. But isn't it obvious? It was Trunks' own use of time travel that allowed Black and Zamasu to begin their plan. The creation of the time rings, the weakening of space and time. This is all Trunks' fault. Goku and Vegeta get ready for one final battle. Despite the continued punishment, Goku refuses to give up, while Vegeta swears revenge for what they did to his baby boy. But it's of no use now. No matter what they throw at the Kai, mortal power cannot stand up against them. Side by side, Black and Zamasu await Goku's final Kamehameha, responding with a powerful ki ball that finally ends Goku. With the two Saiyans out of the picture, the Zero Mortals plan can continue operations, cleansing the universe from the lowly mortals. In Zamasu's eyes, this is the true role of the gods. Black and Zamasu hover over the destroyed West City and cackle at the realization that truly nothing is standing in their way. The utopia they've dreamed about about for years can finally become a reality. Not even Vegeta was enough, and the power of hope and humanity's spirit was meaningless. And so, Black and Zamasu carry out their extermination plan. Universe by universe, planet by planet, soul by soul. They were once dust, and they've been reduced to dust. The future of all the universes is now uncertain, with no living being remaining to see it through. And so ends the first Goku Black What If. A very dark ending for Dragon Ball. Of course, the present timeline remains, and if Goku and Vegeta never return, then those in the present would be concerned. It's a bit hard to tell since it's not clear if, like, Bulma got away, but let's assume she did die with them, and only the Kaioshin were able to escape to the present. Of course, Shin would tell everyone in the past just what transpired, breaking down as he failed to save his universe and his friends. In particular, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks would be deeply hurt, and motivated to do something after the death of their parents. But an oddity would be Beerus, who expected future Zamasu to perish once he destroyed him in the present. So I could see him breaking his own rule of helping mortals, since I'm sure he would want to investigate. He'd play coy and pretend that it's just to finally put an end to Zamasu. But deep down, he cares about the Saiyans and Bulma. It may take a few months or even years, but they would need to develop a new time machine. Maybe Kid Trunks steps up to do it with his grandfather and the Pilaf gang, and together with Piccolo, Gohan, Goten, and Beerus, go to the future to figure things out, where they face Zamasu and Black in a universe with nothing but death and destruction. With Beerus' help, they may just have a chance to stop him, though bringing Goku and the others may prove difficult, and maybe Gohan unlocks Beast Mode, and Piccolo wishes to get his power unlocked before leaving to the future. Though bringing Goku and the others back to life may be a little difficult, and Beerus could get in trouble for doing this, but it'd be so worth it to finally trap a god who caused so much trouble. Hakai Black and trap Zamasu. After all, Beerus was the one to trap the old Kai in the Sea Sword. Who's to say he can't do that again? If they brought Dende and the Dragon Balls to the future, would that work? I mean, Goku has been revived by them before, but if they make a group wish, maybe there's a chance. But that's only the positive outlook. What I think may be more likely is Black and Zamasu continuing their Goku killing spree over other realities, kinda like Goku Black in Dragon Ball Heroes, killing 99 Gokus across different realities, discovering the power of Super Saiyan Rose 2 and 3, until maybe a Zeno out there finally has enough and destroys everything along with them. The next one isn't much happier either, and it actually picks up right in the middle of the last one. This what if takes us back to the main story right as Black and Zamasu fuse, facing Vegeta and Goku. It's obvious that just 2 Super Saiyan Blues aren't enough against the god, which is funny, since in the original draft by Toriyama for the story, Merch Zamasu wasn't all that strong, and the 2 Saiyans working together was more than enough to defeat him. But of course, Toyotaro suggested making him stronger and bringing back Vegito. If you want to learn more, be sure to check out my video on one fact for every Dragon Ball Super episode. But anyways, Goku and Vegeta attempt to reach the god by fusing into Vegito Blue. No matter how much preaching the truth Black does, Vegito will never listen to godly reason. And just like before, while he watches Black somehow defeat Vegito, Trunks steps in, as if he'd be able to perform any better. In a rare moment for the game, we actually get the option to fuse in the middle of battle, as if it was any normal player fight, rather than a story mode one. If we do so, then an alternate path is put forth. I guess in this reality, Zamasu and Black realize that maybe Vegito would be too much to take on alone. Interrupting the fight, Black and Zamasu take off their Potara and become one, Merge Zamasu. This doubles his arrogance and makes his preaching even more annoying. We get it, no one will prevail against your light, give praise unto you, blah blah blah. The battle comes to a close in a dramatic shot of Zamasu piercing Trunks through the chest, leaving him to die like a dog on the street. In reality, Zamasu sends Trunks gathering the energy from all the humans to create the Spirit Sword, and interrupted the process before it grew into a real threat. Now defused, Goku and Vegeta fall to their knees. They are the final things standing between Zamasu and ultimate destruction, but with no power left, the Saiyans fall at the hands of the merciless Zamasu. With his ultimate move, the Lightning Absolution, Zamasu kills what little hope there was left, raining death upon humanity and the rest of the universe, completing the Zero Mortals plan. Like I mentioned before, I could see those in the present trying to do something about it, but Merge Zamasu is a little more difficult to deal with than just the two others, as even if he's defeated, he'll begin to spread through time and space as Infinite Zamasu, and without Goku's button to call Zeno, perhaps we would actually get to see what happens when he makes his way into the present timeline. With the heroes failing to revive Goku and Vegeta, they'd be forced to return to the present, and perhaps the gods of destruction and the Kais end up working together to try and stop Zamasu from causing any more harm. Plus, they have to try and prevent Zeno from just erasing everything at the same time. I'm sure there's something all the gods of destruction could do together, as long as they keep the Kais protected. Maybe the angels are finally given a bit of permission to act as well. A truly divine war between the gods and this fallen Kai. Or Zeno just realizes that everyone is dumb, especially since his friend Goku got killed, and erases everything. Though I do wonder if he likes Goku enough to keep some people around to bring him, Vegeta, and Trunks back. The heroes die, the mortals lose, and Zamasu wins. So, happy endings? Roll credits? Buy our DLC coming next year? There is an alternate version of this, which happens in the main Goku Black story path, if you defeat Vegeta quickly without much damage. So let's go over that real quick, since it's short. Potara versus Potara, but a mere imitation could never truly reach divinity. The battle is intense, but I guess the self times self multiplier is higher than any rival boost. Because next thing you know, Zamasu has his arm firmly placed through Vegito's chest. We do love saving on reused animations, but it works. Zamasu kills Vegito. He's brought back down to base, humiliated by the true power of a Potara. That's another victory for Gogeta fans, I guess. And so, with Vegito gone, Trunks is killed with a lightning absolution. This is basically just the opposite of the last What If, but with Vegito dying instead of Trunks. Honestly, nothing super crazy, but there's yet another alternate ending to the same story. As Merge Zamasu begins to deform and decay, he strikes himself down with a powerful bolt of lightning, his hatred growing and giving him strength. But just then, like always, Vegito Blue lands.
Vegito! And here's something new. Vegito Blue!
He stops a blast with his hand, and just like any good Bond villain, Zamasu monologues about how mortals are always trying to emulate gods. They must be so jealous of him, because he's so beautiful and wonderful, of course. Gods are naturally pure, while mortals become marked by sin. Ironic, coming from someone that looks like this. Honestly, despite hearing a lot of this over and over again, the voice actor of Zamasu, James Marsters, carries it with great delivery.
It's so tragic. You're doomed to fail. Acts of gods are beautiful because we are inherently pure, while mortal endeavors will inevitably become wicked.
What's crazy is that decaying Merge Zamasu's ultimate, in English, actually quotes King Piccolo in Dragon Ball Evolution, a nod to how the same actor played both roles.
Human power has failed before, as it will again!
It's to the point where Zamasu begins to cry.
Are you seriously crying?
His passion for his mission at full display. He's even sunk so deep as to steal the body of a mortal and corrupt himself to accomplish it. All he wants is a clean multiverse. And with that declaration, Vegito realizes that it's all over. Knocked out of blue, Zamasu holds Vegito's head with a goofy little smile on his face. Look at him, he's so pleased with himself. Of course, an imitation of the real Potara fusion was bound to fail, and with Vegito dead, Trunks is next. And after him, every single human being felt Zamasu's light rain down on them. Not a single mortal remains in any corner of any universe. And that was it. The main big branch is the one where Black and Zamasu don't fuse and still win, and several smaller ones where they do fuse and win in different flavors. Kill Vegeta first, stop the Sword of Hope, etc. The main route is the standout. The rest are just cool riffs. I'm guessing a lot of the Goku Black budget went to Gohan Black. That what if is in Gohan's video, by the way. It's a blast. I do wish they pushed a little further. Like, have Black and Zamasu invade the present timeline instead of the future. Or enter the Tournament of Power as a two-man wrecking crew after wiping out all of Universe 7. They even pair up Black and Baby in the intro. Give me Baby Vegeta meeting Goku Black, especially since there's Zero GT in this story mode. Still, Sparking Zero is a solid reboot foundation. If we ever get a sequel, here's hoping for more freedom, deeper branches, and even pettier godly grudges. But hey, we have that next DLC to look forward to, whatever it is. This is every Jiren What If in Sparking Zero. We've covered every character so far, from Goku to Vegeta, Frieza and Gohan, so now we tackle the mortal who surpassed the gods of destruction. From what if Jiren won the Tournament of Power, to what if Jiren destroyed all of Universe 7's team. Everyone will feel his might. Before we continue, be sure to leave a like and a comment. There's a new hype system on YouTube, and those interactions are more important than ever. Thanks as always for your support. So, let's begin. Towards the start of Jiren's story mode, which entirely takes place in the Tournament of Power, we get a choice. Kale is rampaging across the stage, and as the strongest warrior, we have a way to end her terror. Do we intervene like in the anime, or stay behind and let her get rid of the opponents for us? To see just what would change, and realize the true limits of Kale's power, let's let her deal with our enemies for now. Weirdly, we don't actually see much of the Kale choice, as we cut right from Toppo admiring the strength of the Saiyans to Goku trying to challenge Jiren. But Toppo, being the good friend that he is, says that he'll handle him for us. But before we can even fight, we're told that Toppo and Jiren retreat to save power, only for the battle to continue once Goku is joined by 17 and 18. Kind of a weird, roundabout way to get to things, but Jiren battles the twin androids, as 18 comments on how the infinite void of the Tournament of Power has changed since the beginning of the battle. Of course, this wind-up doll doesn't stand a chance against the Pride Trooper. Once 18 is defeated, 17 jumps in to replace her, and finally, Super Saiyan Blue Goku. One of the gimmicks for Jiren's what-ifs are basically mini boss rushes, as unlike most other what-ifs, there are little cutscenes in between big fights, so we have to survive through every one of these powerful foes. When Jiren finally overwhelms Goku, he smashes him into the arena. But just as he does this, Goku taps into an untold power, Ultra Instinct Omen. Even if it is simple, it's pretty cool to have to fight Goku while he's in one of his most powerful states. His dodging and weaving is just as annoying as 99% of the people who use him online. It makes you appreciate the transformation. Finally, when Goku's Ultra Instinct is timed out thanks to our might, he is rescued by none other than Hit, the infamous time assassin of Universe 6. When asked why he's even there, Hit coldly responds,
To do my job.
Oh my god, he's so goddamn cool!
But just like normal, Hit is blown out of the arena by Jiren. If only he'd left a clone in there. This is when we get something interesting, which is an obvious homage to the manga. While Jiren meditates, thinking of Ultra Instinct Goku, Master Roshi stumbles upon him, terrified. He tells Jiren just how much he admires his strength, particularly because it's that strength which allowed for Goku to grow rapidly during the tournament. Upon hearing that Roshi is Goku's master, Jiren finally opens his eyes, curious. Because of this, Jiren wants to battle Roshi. One of the most iconic moments in the Dragon Ball Super manga is Master Roshi fighting Jiren, trying to help Goku tap into Ultra Instinct, and ultimately being the catalyst of it. Of course, it seems they can't give us manga content outside of attacks. So this is the next best thing. As the battle begins, we hear a little more about Jiren. Roshi wonders what exactly he wants the Dragon Balls for. Of course, this battle is appropriate, as Jiren's sole reason to fight is reviving his old master. Fun fact, the manga also specifies that Jiren's master, Jichin, was killed by a demon, meaning his soul cannot go to Otherworld. nor can the gods revive him. Belmont, from the stands, recalls that there is one thing Jiren's heart has been longing for. Jiren's parents were killed by a powerful foe, but he was rescued by Jishin, the man who would take Jiren as his student. He grew into a strong fighter with an even stronger sense of justice, with friends and allies along the way. That was until that same demon who killed his parents returned, and he killed every single one of his friends and his master. He tried to fight alongside whoever was left, but nobody would join him, and so that world was lost to the demon. Jiren was betrayed. Their principles were betrayed for the sake of an easier path. That's why Jiren doesn't believe in trust nor friendship, only in his power. Because if he has the power to protect and defend, then others will follow. Trust is of no use. Belmont admires, even romanticizes the suffering Jiren went through. But there's a fight still going on, and Jiren doesn't like to talk. But Roshi asks something curious. Would his master really have wanted Jiren to fight alone? After all, it's only because of his friends and allies that Goku was able to make it to where he is now. With nothing else to say, Jiren gets ready to defeat Roshi, who tells him that although Goku can't beat him now, he will grow past any wall and into his greatest rival yet. Just as Jiren has that realization, Dispo appears behind Roshi and smacks him out of the ring. Before Jiren can even catch a breath, he catches a glimpse of Vegeta, watching him with his arms folded. Vegeta wonders why he got so strong, but the answer of justice isn't satisfactory to Vegeta. Jiren mocks him in return, saying that his universe must be quite peaceful if justice isn't a motivating factor. Buddy, I have a whole anime for you to watch. 5, in fact. But this private conversation is interrupted by Frieza and 17. Jiren says that his comrades won't save him this time, but correction. Frieza isn't exactly something they'd call a comrade. He's barely even their ally right now. In fact, he is one of their most fearsome foes. Here, we get another boss rush, since we go from 17 to Frieza to Vegeta and finally Goku, all in a single health bar. Jiren is confused by Goku's way of doing things. Despite them both being on the same tier of power, Goku relies on others, and not just his own strength. As the fight continues, off-screen, Toppo and Vegeta are both taken out at once, and Vegeta shows his growth by saying that even if he isn't the one to deliver the final blow, it will be okay as long as their universe wins. Belmont demands that in honor of Toppo's sacrifice, Jiren must defeat Goku. The Grey is once again surprised by the mortals of Universe 7. Bringing his fight against the Destroyer Toppo to a draw is no easy feat, and so the fight begins anew, and Goku once again awakens the Ultra Instinct power. Both Zenos are thrilled, but Belmont isn't as impressed as the first time. A strong defense won't win Goku the battle. After all, Ultra Instinct is incomplete as it is now. Vegeta is confused by this, but Belmont laughs. He doesn't actually believe Goku could master that form, a form even gods have trouble with in the time of a single tournament, right? But Vegeta argues that Belmont himself has seen them shatter the limits over and over again in only 48 minutes. Is it really that unbelievable that Goku would do it too? And Goku proves it as he taps into the true Ultra Instinct power. Still, Belmont doesn't think that Goku stands a chance. Unknown to him, Jiren's worldview is being shattered right before his eyes. If he loses here, then all of his might has been for nothing. The trauma from his past returning to Jiren and pushing him into his full power. But Goku knows he has his friends and family to rely on, and that's all that matters. That's what pushes him forward. But just then, Goku loses the Ultra Instinct power, and we're about to finish him off, only for Frieza and 17 to once again interrupt. It looks like things are about to go as normal, with Jiren being driven out. But we get one more chance. As full power Jiren, we must destroy every single remaining member of Universe 7 and win. And once we do, we pick up in the scene where Jiren clashes with the three, only this time his power is far superior to them. Goku, Frieza, and 17 are knocked out of the ring, and Universe 11 is declared the winner. Before being erased though, Goku tells Jiren that this was an incredible fight, and that he's itching for more. Hopefully, they will see each other again soon. These words, and his actions, struck Jiren hard, and it made him realize that there are still plenty of things to see, people to meet, and power to overcome. And because of this, Jiren steps away from his wish to revive his master, and instead, he asks to bring back the destroyed universes. The two Zeno fly down to ask Jiren if he's sure, and he confirms it. Jiren now sees that he has been shackled by his past and his grief, but now he has new desires, new promises to fulfill. This surprises everyone in his universe. Belmont can't believe it, while Toppo looks on proudly, realizing that Goku has changed his friend for the better, as he has with many others over the years. And hasn't he done that for us as well? And so, the destroyed universes are restored, while Jiren thinks to himself that he can't wait to see Goku again. I know that feeling, buddy. The Grey turns to Toppo and tells his friend that it's time to return to base. Their work here is done. He walks off into the distance. The universe is finally at peace. But surely, this is just the beginning of new friendships and rivalries. That's the end of the main Jiren What If. And I gotta say, I really like how we delve deeper into his character. He's pretty quiet through most of the anime, and even here, but we actually get to see how every single person he faces changes his perspective little by little. Roshi, Vegeta, and Goku in particular. He's becoming a more interesting character, and I do hope we get to see him again. Though I will say, this is probably the single hardest what if to get. Not only because of the boss rushes, but in order to get that final what if ending, you have to do this entire path in a single run, and it's quite annoying. As for what happens next, well, we haven't gotten to see too much of the other universes since then. But with Jiren so driven by his desire to face Goku again and open up new friendships, perhaps the universes can begin to collaborate a little bit more. Maybe he hears of the threats Universe 7 faces, Moro, Gas, Cell Max, and he decides to help. Or even more wild, he decides to expand the Pride Troopers beyond his universe, inviting the Kamikaze Fireballs, the Great Saiyaman, even Gamma 1 to be part of his big superhero family, to protect each other no matter the universe. A bit more American comic book style, but hey, if this was a spin-off, I'd watch it. I could absolutely see things being completely hopeless for Goku and the others against Moro, with him having freed all the galactic prisoners, when suddenly you see a ship up in the sky, with Jiren commanding the forces and helping our friends against the wizard. If not Moro, then someone like Cell Max, I guess. After all, Gohan's a superhero. Maybe he's part-time with the Pride Troopers, so they come help out when they can. Throughout this what if, I've really come to appreciate Jiren a little bit more, and I hope we see the rest of the Pride Troopers soon too. Did you know that Jiren and Toppo were supposed to have each other's personality until Akira Toriyama stepped in and told Toei that no, it's the other way around? If you want to find out more, be sure to check out my video about one fact for every Dragon Ball Super episode. But anyways, there's one more alternate ending to the Tournament of Power here, one that has much darker implications. If we follow the canon path until the final battle against Goku, Frieza, and 17, we once again see the final clash of blasts. But this time, once Jiren wins, he has no real change of perspective, no real growth. And even Goku himself looks satisfied in battle, wanting nothing more and nothing else. Almost as if he has nothing else to grow towards, and just kind of accepts death. He doesn't tell Jiren that he wants to fight again. This outcome has only confirmed what Jiren already believed, that his strength is absolute, and the only thing he needs to rely on. After all, he won with no help, the implication here being that Jiren did in fact choose to revive his master over the other universes. But as the Grand Priest explains, if a selfish wish was made that didn't bring back the other universes, then the winning universe would also have been erased. Thus, not only were Goku, Kaba, Ribrianne, and all the other warriors destroyed, but even Jiren and his revived master. A sad ending to an arc that already has very dark undertones, despite its overall exciting and not necessarily dark attitude. I wish we could have gotten to actually see the wish being made, and the repercussions. Of course, Jiren's what-ifs are entirely centered on the Tournament of Power, and there's not that many, which is kind of a missed opportunity. I mean, why not dream bigger? Why not have Jiren come in during Broly, or maybe the Pride Troopers trying to help during earlier arcs, in a mission to bring justice to all the other universes. Xenoverse 2 did something like this, with Dispo showing up in the middle of the Kid Buu fight. I get they were just trying to get his perspective here, but there's totally more things to do in such an ever-expanding and creative universe as Dragon Ball. Still, the big what-ifs we get I do appreciate, and I like most of them. The biggest thing here, honestly, is that it helped me appreciate Jiren a little bit more more than I had before. But that's pretty much it. And that was every single Sparking Zero What If story. Let me know what your favorite was. I began this as just a way to celebrate the game, and it turned into one of my favorite series. So let me know what else you'd want me to tackle. I have some ideas. I think that the Trunks and Vegeta What Ifs ended up being my top, though Goku and Gohan have some great ones too. I hope they lock in for whatever comes next, and give us even more creative views into alternate paths in the Dragon world. And if you're looking for more deep dives into Dragon Ball games, check out my video on every single cancelled Dragon Ball game ever.